Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Yeah, why would you bet on Goliath when we got Bet David? Valuetainment, giving value's contagious. This world of entrepreneurs, we get no value to haters. How they run, homie, look what I become. I'm the one.
All right, so we have a friend we haven't had on for episode, what is it, 421. We haven't had Ricky, the real pretty Ricardo Aguilar, the real pretty Ricky. I'm friends with both, but this is the real pretty Ricky on here from the great Kern County, Bakersfield, baby. TCO in the house. All right, we got a lot of things to go through here, gang. Obviously, Ricky, there's some going on with Mexico, right? There's an interesting story there that we have to talk about with the pesos dropping more than 3% on jitters over Morena's super majority. We want to know what that means. Aside from that, Trump, Eric the other day gets on, I think this was on Friday or Saturday, he said, he asked his wife, how much money have we raised? He says, just from small donors, $21, $30 donors, they raised over $70 million. Big donors, not $130 million, over $200 million. That's as of Friday, Saturday. Today's Tuesday. I don't know what number they're at, Rob. See if you can pull up the latest poll on that. But a lot of money being raised from that. Comey said something, what it would look like if Trump were to go to president. We'll cover a few of those things. Trump is officially on TikTok, folks. Dana White gave him a big shout out. And I don't know how many followers he's got right now, but he quickly went to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. I don't know what the numbers, but he's up there.
Yeah.
So then I saw this one story that none of us really were talking about, but I think it's important to talk about this as well. The DOJ fears AI tampering with the Biden-Her audio interview. They don't want to release it because they're worried people are going to tamper with AI. Can you imagine deep fakes? So you know there's something there that they don't want to release to the world. We'll see if we're going to do something with that or not. Fauci had a wonderful Monday, guys. If you're wondering who had a great Monday, Fauci had a very fantastic, emotional, being asked a bunch of different questions, and there was a troll in the back. I don't know if you guys have seen that troll. Whoever he is, he's a very famous. Did you see the guy, what he was doing? Yeah, it's fascinating.
The bald guy you're talking
the bald guy.
Who is
he was asked about a bunch of different things. He was asked about NIH, $710 million being given to different doctors. He was asked, do you represent science? No, I don't. That's not what I meant. That what I meant is this. Just a bunch of gibberish that will go back and forth. One clip talking about the fact that all the people that are believers, the moment you mandated, you force them, all that shit goes out the window, flat out saying that, and he's being asked about it. It was a rough week for him. Alex Jones, an emotional moment he had on Twitter and X, which we have to talk about. And we'll talk about that as well. Just brace for impact. We'll do that as well. Elon Musk, do you know they still don't want to pay him the $56 billion they owe him? They still don't want to pay him. I'm going to give you some details on the breakdown, what many people are not talking about. We'll go into the whole thing on how he negotiated up front, what the number was, and who is preventing him from getting the paycheck. It's some interesting stories behind it. And then Elon Musk and Jamie Dimon are getting closer to being friends again. This has been a decade-year feud that they may be getting closer to each other. Pro-Palestine protesters clash with Pride Parade. How wild of a clash is that? That definitely is a phenomenal one. Official U.S. Navy Special Forces page draws backlash for ringing in Pride Month. And Navy SEALs have gone woke. And then they're coming back saying, no, we didn't. It's not that. We meant this. We meant that. Anyways, we'll respond to it. If there's anybody we can't afford to go work is the Navy SEAL. Like, they got to keep it together, especially with those 11 NFL teams that Tom's going to give you an update on here in a minute. Vinny, this weekend, went to a gay pride event at Disney. He was at Disneyland. He was at, well, I mean, that's the right way of saying it, right? He was so you got to give us commentary.
I'll give you 100% commentary.
Because, by the way, Vinny's an Angry Patriot. And if you're also an Angry Patriot, I got a surprise for you in about 90 seconds. Stay tuned. It's a big surprise. To only Angry Patriots, if you are, I got a surprise for you that you're going to want to be sporting on 4th of July. So stay tuned. We'll give that to you. All right, check this out. Up to half of UCLA med students are failing basic medical competency tests.
Unbelievable.
Can you imagine that? Their basic competency test, they're missing. WNBA Caitlin Clark had another hard foul, and, you know, there was a fine and all this other stuff, and, you know, this other player, Angel Reese, I think that's her name, saying, I'm also the reason why the WNBA is doing really good.
Me.
It's me. It's not really just her. It's also me. In 20 years, they're going to say me too. And Diddy
movement.
Diddy had another bunch of things coming out with him. I mean, when you get Biggie's mom coming out saying, "I want to slap the daylights out of Sean Combs," there's something really going on there. Jerry Seinfeld, okay, check this out. He wants to see return of dominant masculinity to the culture. Manchin leaves the Democratic Party. Mexico will talk about inflation. Someone said it will take years to fall to the 2% target, according to Cleveland Fed model. We got some economy stuff that we'll talk about. We got a bunch of clips to show you guys. Having said that, let me start out before we get into all these stories. Number one, everybody, when Vinny would go on a rant, Vinny was just on Pierce the other day. When Vinny goes on a rant, and, all of a sudden veins pop out and, there's women that are into Vinny and men like that. Vinny's got a big female. There's even a fan page created with Vinny because of how sexy he is.
I tried.
I call him the Pacino, the De Niro, the Syrian version, the better looking version. That's the non-woke version that's not vaccinated. But here's the thing. So if you're an angry patriot yourself, Vinny officially has the Angry Patriot Valuetainment Edition.
Damn right.
Where the O is the Valuetainment logo with the back says Future Looks Bright.
Oh, yes.
With the sides got the American flag. So if you are an angry patriot, Vinny, what colors do we have these in?
We have that color, and then we also have green, right, Rob?
Rob,
we have
can
the
you
green
show
one,
it
which is
on the back?
Sick.
Military green.
And Pat, just really fast, to let everybody know, a lot of people always go, Vinny, why are you so upset? And I always ask them, why aren't you? With everything that's happening, and being a veteran and having parents that are legal immigrants, Assyrians, Pat, as you know this, we don't have a country, which makes America that much more important. And that's why I get furious when people aren't speaking and aren't talking crap. So that's why I'm an angry patriot. Tom called it me live on the podcast, and we're going with it. And I am, and I'm proud to be an angry patriot.
There you go. It's official. It's branded. By the way, go ahead and place the order before these things sell out. Last time we announced the allegedly shirt, we sold a few thousand shirts of the allegedly shirt. And all of a sudden, how come I'm not getting my supply? Because sizes go. So you can go ahead and place the order. Angry Patriot on VTmerch.com if you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple. And Rob, let's make sure to put the link below as well so people can go get it and represent as an angry patriot. All right. So let's get into it. First story. What story should we go to as the first story? I prefer us going to a business story first because, I know Vinny likes that kind of stuff. Let's do a business story first. So, Tom, I'm going to come to you as well. Elon Musk is mad at one of Tesla's biggest investors for saying it's voting against his pay package. So now you guys got to keep this in mind. He negotiated this in February of 2018 is when he negotiated this, and they're still not willing to pay him the $56 billion that's owed to him. Let me read it to you. The California Public Employee Retirement System, CalPERS, CEO Marcy Frost stated that the funds plan to vote against Musk's $55 billion pay package, arguing we do not believe that the compensation is to commensurate with the performance of the company. Musk responded, criticizing CalPERS on social media, saying CalPERS is breaking their word. Musk's pay package struck down by a Delaware judge in January involving a 10-year grant of 12 tranches of stock options tied to Tesla hitting specific targets. Although Tesla claims it met all the targets in 2023, proxy advisor Glass Lewis labeled it excessive with uncertain benefits and additional risk ahead of June 13 annual meeting. Tesla's promoting the pay plan by offering investors a tour of the Texas Gigafactory, with Musk emphasizing the plan's importance to Tesla's future success. Tom, thoughts on this story?
Okay. The board here is running for cover, and they are turning turtle. Here's what I mean by that. The reason this plan exists, how did this plan? This wasn't an idea he came up with. This was voted on by the board, and they all agreed this would be the pay plan. And by the way, for all those people saying must receive $55 billion, I saw that one on CNN. He's not receiving $55 billion. This is a 10-year grant of stock, some stock every year. Ricky, remember PHP?
Of course.
You kill it, and there'd be a program out there. You could get some equity. Next year, different program. What they did here, they made a 10-year program. 10-year program from here, and CalPERS voted in favor of it. But along the way, the economy burps a little bit. Now people are saying, well, maybe $55 billion is excessive. Why was it $55 billion? Because the stock went up from 106 at the beginning of 03, I believe, to, Rob, check me on this, 261 106, 261. So the stock went way up. Go back like 3 years. Go back 3 years real quick.
Oh, that's not even the case, Tom. You got to go more than that. It's not 106 to 261. You know what the number is? Do you know what this guy negotiated, Tom?
No, go back. Look at the beginning of 2003. Right there. See the dip? 223. Go to the beginning of 223.
Rob, 2023, Rob. You're at 2021.
Look at that.
There you go.
123, 113. Yeah. There it is. So it starts there, and then it goes all the way to 260. So there's the value. The other thing, CalPERS is where? California. And over the course of those 24 months, who moved a headquarters to Austin, Texas?
Tesla.
Right. There is undercurrent here, but the board voted on a compensation plan. The metrics were met, and now everybody is running from the back saying, well, I don't want to be seen as voting for it. These are board members now not want to be seen voting for something that they put on paper and put in front of them. This wasn't invented at the end of the year.
Check this out.
This was the plan at the beginning.
So watch this. So this is what makes it so weird on how this was negotiated. When he negotiated this, it was February of 2018. When he negotiated in February 2018, guess what they did? The Tesla stock shareholders sent a letter out saying, we just negotiated Musk's compensation for the next 6 years, okay? And when they negotiated compensation for the next 6 years, they said, we have gotten Elon Musk to agree to take zero salary for the next 6 years, zero pay for the next 6 years. Then the board had to come back and say, California forced us that we have to pay minimum wage. You know, Elon Musk been getting paid minimum wage the last 6 years. $37,000 is what he's been getting paid, and he's never taken the money. Now, check this out. At the time when he agreed, this is what the terms were. Tesla was worth around $55 billion. In order for him to get his full compensation package, he had to take Tesla from $55 billion in 6 years to $650 billion valuation. Let me say it one more time. His package, folks, would you take this offer? Hey, zero salary for the next 6 years. Help us take the valuation of a company of $1 billion in the next 6 years to $11 billion for us to pay you anything. And if you don't take us to $11 billion, you get paid nothing. Wow. That's what he negotiated for. All or none, apparently, $37,000 as a salary at the time when he negotiated this contract. You know what was the craziest thing when he negotiated it? At the time, guess what was the shortest stock? The stock being shorted the most in all of NASDAQ 100. Tesla. You know what percentage of the stock was shorted? 22.6% at a time when the average shorted stock on NASDAQ 100 was 3.5%. So think about this. 3.5%, 22.6. Nobody believes in what's going to happen here. Everybody's saying this is a shit show. This guy's a P.D. Barnum type of guy, makes a bunch of fancy predictions that none of them are going to become a reality, and then it becomes a reality. Yeah. Then they go to shareholders. They ask him, hey, guys, we have to pay this man $56 billion. What do you guys think, shareholders? Guess what percentage shareholders said we should pay him? What percentage of Tesla shareholders do you think agreed that they should pay Elon Musk? Take a wild guess. I want you to take a wild guess.
I would say 10%.
10%. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think, Tom?
85.
What do you think?
85. That's crazy. I don't even know.
What do you think the number is?
I don't know.
Take a wild guess.
25%.
73% said this guy deserves the money.
Wow.
73% said this guy deserves the money, but...
In the beginning, when it was made.
Yeah, but... No. 73% when it happened. What do you mean not when it's made?
To
now,
ratify it.
No. Now they're saying, yes, he's got it. Pay it out. 73% agreed to this. Guess what percentage agreed at the beginning that we should pay this? Because this guy's never going to hit 11 times valuation. 100%. Yeah. Now it's 73%. 27% is like, oh, shit, he actually hit it. Now we got to pay this guy, right? There's no way we're going to be able to do this. And watch this. Do you know the person? Rob, can you pull up the judge in Delaware preventing Musk from getting his $55 billion? Because it's incorporated in Delaware. Pull up the judge. Her name is Kathleen something. Just type in Kathleen Elon Musk and her name should come up. Okay, now go right there. That's her name. So take Kathleen, go to see who appointed her. She's appointed by the governor, John Carney, who's a Democratic governor. John Carney in Delaware is friends with guess who? a guy named Joe Biden. And for many people, like myself, like Tom, we have incorporated businesses in Delaware. When you would go and say, hey, well, we should, incorporate our business. Delaware's the place to go. That is out the flipping window after what you just did to this guy, because he negotiated the most ridiculous compensation plan that if shit were to hit the fan, he would have made this much money. 6 years, this much money. And now you say no because she's the boss? This Kathleen McCormick is the boss? So officially in Delaware, Kathleen McCormick is the boss of all corporations, because if you get paid too much money, she can say, no, it's too much money for you to get paid. And while Elon Musk at the time, they're saying, why would you even negotiate a contract like this? Why would you put your pay like this? He says, because I believe Tesla's a $1 trillion company. Then they ask him, they say, are you doing this because you want all this money? He says, I'm not doing this because of any dynasty type of money, because I want to go out there and do this. He says, I'm sincerely doing this because I have some big plans with the money I want to do, such as having multi-planetary, you've heard him talking about this stuff. And by the way, do you believe him? Do you believe the fact that he's got real vision of what he wants to do?
Every week there's another rocket being launched.
So then the question becomes the following. Everybody that's watching now is sitting there saying, why would they pay him $56 billion? The number one shareholder for Tesla is a guy named Elon Musk. The number two shareholder, individual, not institutional, number two shareholder for Tesla, guess who it is? It's his brother, Kimball Musk, roughly 1.6 million shares of Tesla he owns. Number three is just a regular guy that is the majority shareholder of Tesla. You know the top three institutional shareholders?
BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard.
Those three combined have less shares than Elon has in Tesla.
Good. Should be like
those three combined have less shares, according to the article I read yesterday. So Elon Musk is in an interesting place. If you guys are for capitalism, whatever you do, everybody has to be for this guy getting paid for the amount of risk that he took for not getting anything for 6 years. So that's really why they're holding back this guy's money. They don't want a guy like that to have too much money, because if he does, God knows what he's going to go buy next. Do you think they want him to have access to $56 billion?
No.
What do you think he goes and buys next? Yeah. If he buys Twitter, holy shit, what if he buys this? What if he buys that? We can't get that money in his pocket. There's a lot of fears they have with Musk here.
And PBD, that's cash?
That's cash.
What are the chances he gets that cash?
Well, Tom, it's a stock option that he can turn into cash if he wants to.
Got it.
Yeah, and one of the ways that he's been buying a lot of stuff, he borrows against the stocks. He borrows against the stocks, and that's kind of how he's been paying himself.
It's one of the things I'm obsessed with is Forbes' richest time billionaires, and people just lose billions every single day by checking the stock. Rob, I think you have that link. So Elon Musk has been going number 1, number 2, number 3 between Bernard Arnault, Jeff Bezos, and Musk, 1, 2, and 3. I think he's now number 1 on the Forbes all-time.
Elon is?
Yeah, if you scroll down.
Right there.
Right there,
Elon,
number one. So he's at, I want to say 200 billion. You just left it, Rob. I want to say somewhere around 200 billion. Rob's really having some trouble. I got you.
200.
Punch in a little bit.
209?
So, and then there's Bernard Arnault, and then Jeff Bezos. I think those are the only 3 guys that are right at 200 billion. If he gets another 50 billion, Elon's pretty competitive,
Holy
dude.
Shit, Mark
He's gonna literally
number 4.
Boom,
Facebook came back up.
Wild.
Facebook came back up.
I remember Facebook was almost down when it converted to Meta in
first
2022.
alien to be a billionaire.
Don't let this fool you. Elon's going to be a trillionaire in no time. Don't let this.
You think so?
Oh, let me tell you why. He's a driver. He's not stopping. Listen, you have to realize, never underestimate the power of an active operator. Never underestimate the power of an active operator. An active operator that's already built businesses and succeeded and made money, and he's still active, he's going to be making a lot of money. Don't ever underestimate that. He's the most active operator in the history of America, especially the last 100 years. No one's more active as an operator than him.
What's the over-under on when he becomes the world's first trillionaire?
10 years?
No way. No, I give 2 to 5 years.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it's 5 years. I think.
You think he's going to 5x that 200 billion?
I think he's got a very high chance of being a trillion in the next 2 to 5 years.
Wow.
And there's one recognized trillionaire on Earth, but it's actually a group.
Yeah,
and
it's family.
It's the family of the Saudi. It's the Saudi royal family.
$1.4 trillion.
Bin Salman. Bin Salem and all the cousins and nephews and the entire family.
Saudi Aramco was a $2 trillion.
I was just reading up on this $1.4 trillion.
Thank you very much.
Yes, there you go. We're on a roll today.
If we go to eat, they're picking up the tab.
And by the way, while this is going on,
that's true.
Elon Musk and Jamie Dimon are getting close. What? Elon Musk. It looks like Elon Musk and Jamie Dimon are one step closer to making peace amid their nearly 10-year feud. Elon Musk and Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase have been working to mend their 10-year feud with their relationship improving since March when they spoke for an hour on stage at a JP Morgan Technology Summit, and Musk visited Dimon's suite. The feud began in 2016 when JP Morgan stopped underwriting Tesla car leases, leading to a heated exchange where Musk cursed and threatened to pull business, and Dimon responded that his bank wouldn't be bullied. Musk subsequently favored Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley for his ventures, despite their legal battles, including JP Morgan's 2021 lawsuit against Tesla over $162 million contract breach. Dimon now considers re-engagement with Musk's businesses, seeing mutual benefits and accessing funds and advisory services from the biggest U.S. bank. Tom.
Well, people don't realize how big JP Morgan is. There is really no second place in banking. There is a huge drop from JP Morgan to Morgan Stanley, Goldman, and the European banks. And so what Dimon is saying is, why aren't we playing in this guy's yard? Why aren't we doing this? And they're burying the hatchet. $162 million contract breach, please. That's nothing. You know, they made that in late fees on credit cards last Tuesday. So basically what you have now is Jamie Dimon is on the verge of legacy. He is in the window of an up to 5-year transitional leadership plan. Probably 2 years, but up to 5. And I think Jamie Dimon is looking at the reality of not where Tesla was in 16, but where Tesla and everything is today. And Dimon says, you know what? We need to play in all this. If there's one thing that Jamie Dimon is not, it's dumb. And I think he is seeing to it that he puts JP Morgan in a place to do business.
You know what else I think,
with
Tom?
The wealthiest guy in the world.
You know what else I think?
And his 5 businesses.
I think there's also an element of when you're politically on the same page, which they were for many years. Okay, Jamie's a left. Okay, not a fully left. Jamie's a center left.
Yeah.
And Musk is a center left for many years, and then he's been gradually coming this way. And then Jamie's at the World Economic Forum speaking complimentary about Trump at World Economic Forum while in Davos, while wearing his Ukraine pin, if you remember that one thing.
Jeez.
And then you're seeing what's going on in America. They're putting a president in, 34 counts and felonies, convicted felon, all this stuff. It's like, what are we doing to America right now? Now they officially have something in common. Hey, you planning on doing business in America? Yeah, me too. We got to kind of figure this out because it's a shit show here. So there's an element there as well of them being on the same page that I think has that going. And then the other side is, hey, maybe Jamie's going to be able to help this person in Delaware that doesn't want Musk to get the $56 billion and could be like, hey, can you bring that $56 billion of your bank account, do something here with Chase? There's so many different things that could be taking place when that's going on. What are your thoughts?
I fully agree that the billionaires are basically starting to back Trump. A lot of these people were not advocating for Trump whatsoever in 2016 and certainly in 2020. We've seen how the tide has shifted so much in just 4 years of Joe Biden being the president. Not only is it Jamie Dimon, you see that there's talks of Elon Musk potentially being a part of Trump's cabinet. There's a Wall Street Journal article about that. But here's some billionaires that have openly backed Trump that did not back Trump for the most part in previous elections. Steven Schwartzman, CEO of Blackstone, right?
$40 billion guy.
Basically a little brother of BlackRock. Steve Wynn, he owns the hotels. Woody Johnson, that's a Johnson & Johnson heir. Joe Ricketts, TD Ameritrade. Joe Bigelow, Budget Suites. Linda McMahon, that's a WWE. We understand that with Trump. Phil Ruffin, the casinos. John Paulson, he just posted a $50 million raise. It's starting to come clearer and clearer that the capitalists are just like, no. I used to always say this one thing. The millionaires back the Republicans, but the billionaires back the Democrats. The big tech Silicon Valley.
Of course.
But all that is already starting to shift. I put together a quick list. Speaking, I didn't even know they had beef.
Well, I don't think they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it because all of them are sincere about their support. I think they're doing it because they realize if they can do that to him, they can do that to us. Mm-hmm. It's more of a self-protection more than it is that we support him. They realize
the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly. I don't think they're out there. If they're advocating, I highly. Nobody just out of nowhere starts switching their political views. it's gradual. It takes it takes years.
Yeah.
But when you see this happen in a span of 4 years, because they realize if they come after the president, they come after me. That's all it is. They're trying to protect themselves more than anything. That's what I feel.
And I think a lot of these, even Chamath out here, a lot of these people basically, Pat, kudos to Pat, the case example thing. Joe Biden ran on being a uniter, being a bridge, being a moderate. He's catered to the far left progressives, and people are just like, I just can't do this.
He's actually, yesterday, Christina Bobb, that was on the podcast, said something very interesting. She said he's actually becoming a unifier in a way he didn't wish it would happen.
Yeah, that's true.
He's actually unifying everybody against him, which is kind of weird.
It's
gradually. And by the way, out of all the people that are worth $100 billion plus, what percentage of them are left versus right? What percentage of them will vote left and right? 70% of them are going to vote left than right.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yep.
Jeff Bezos, Washington Post. Elon, formerly.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Yep.
Larry Ellison.
He'll be center-ish. He'll be center-right-ish. Yep.
And why is that?
Bernard Arnault is not allowed to vote.
Why would,
I understand.
And by the way, he said something. He says the little guy to what did you say? Blackstone is the little guy to BlackRock.
Little brother.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is Larry Fink's net worth?
Probably not as much as Steven Schwartzman.
Larry Fink, BlackRock, is worth $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
Steven Schwartzman, Blackstone, is worth $39 billion.
Touche. But if you go by companies,
I know, I understand.
And
but I understand.
BlackRock is $10 trillion.
Because Larry Fink's major, I think, was poli-sci. Can you go type in what Larry Fink majored in college? Type in what Larry Fink majored in. I don't even know why I know this. I shouldn't know this. Political science, UCLA, 1974. So Larry Fink was a guy that really was driven by wanting to get involved in politics. And then he gets his MBA, business, etc. But the first passion was what? Political science.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Political science. So it's interesting. Let's go to the next story. Ricky, I'm coming to you with this one here.
Yes.
Mexico peso drop. This is deeply concerning. More than 3% on jitters over Morena supermajority. Let me read this thing, and I'll just hand it over to you. All right, let's see what we got going on here with Mexico. We have representation here from Michoacan, just so everybody knows. Mexico peso drops as much as 4.1% against the dollar, and the local stock market fell over 2% following the rule of Morena party's strong election performance, raising fears of potential constitutional changes that could undermine checks and balances. The peso later trimmed its losses to 3.2% drop. Claudine Sheinbaum, landslide presidential victory, and Morena's gains surprised markets, with Chris Turner from ING noting concerns about Morena potentially pursuing market non-friendly policies of constitutional reform. Sheinbaum secured between 58.3 to 60.7 and 60.7 of the vote, and the highest Mexico majority history. Despite market jitters, Sheinbaum acceptance speech aimed to reassure markets by emphasizing a commitment to an autonomous central bank, maintaining the division between economic and political powers, and persevering a disciplined fiscal stance, as noted by JP Morgan. Ricky, what's going on with Mexico right now?
Oh, man. When I'm talking to people, as you guys know, 80% of my family's in Mexico. My dad lives in Mexico. When I'm a dual citizen, I'm a Mexican citizen, American citizen. And when you see things like this, basically what they're going through is they've had so many years of corruption with it used to be more of a two-party system, which was el PRI y el PAN, which is two-party system. Then they kind of started doing Morena, all this other stuff they started coming up with to break up the two-party system. And then what ended up happening was that AMLO, which is a current president, he's our version of a Bernie Sanders, ran for president two presidencies ago, lost. He says he got cheated out of his presidency. And by the way, 100%. When Enrique Peña Nieto and him were running, which was the last president, they took it from him and they say they stole the election, which I believe in. Mexico, it's very, very much real. A lot of intimidation. They'll do care packages. Here it's illegal to do that in Mexico. At the voting booth, they'll do a care package, rice, soap, food, beans and say,
You're serious?
Oh yeah, of course. You can look it up. I'm dead. You can look it up. They'll give you, and then I'll tell you, who gave you this? Morena. Who gave you this? Morena. Who gave you Morena? So they'll literally be at the voting booth. You give them a care package and they're switching their vote.
Wow.
Yeah, this is not like
rice is better.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, when the cartels want somebody voted in, they'll do the same thing. This is on behalf of so and so. This obviously is funded through them. But anyway, going back to this, it's a lot of people. I was getting 80%, 90% of the people saying, "Man, we're Mexico screwed." But then you have the victims, the crybabies. Oh, they do a lot for the people. It's like, no, you guys want to condemn the rich and give it to the poor like you guys are some goddamn Robin Hoods. And so my issue with her more than anything is you got to remember Mexico is a Catholic country. She doesn't have the beliefs. So first of all, her family got here in the 1920s, which that's fine. That doesn't give you, I'm here in America, I'm a first generation, my devotion's to America. But they got here in the 1920s, they're Jewish, and her parents were communists, open communists that actually fought hard in the rebellion, and they were involved in the scandal with the papers in Panama. So it's not like they're lightweights, just, let's just voice our opinion. No, they're hardcore. And they raised her with these hardcore communist values. And so on top of that, she's a feminist. But just by the way, and I might probably get some heat for this. I really don't give a shit. I don't think any woman should be running any president. The temperament is not there. They're irrational. They don't think with the level head, but that's beside the point. So I understand people wanting to change from the PRI and the PAN and wanting to get away from it. I get it. It's like getting away from the Democrats and the Republicans go libertarian. I get it. But they went full commie with this one. So we got 6 years of a Bernie Sanders, and now we're getting 6 years of an AOC. So that's pretty much what it comes down to.
So Ricky, but so would you say that she was elected or selected because there was 37 candidates were assassinated just this year to get to this, right? So
you got to remember, AMLO was voted in. His campaign is abrazos, no balazos.
Which stands for
hugs, not bullets.
Oh, got you.
Mm-hmm. And so, matter of fact, when Chapo's son was captured in Culiacan, 4 or 5 years ago, they let him go. They let him go.
Because they were going to kill everybody.
Right. They were going to. Yeah, but the reality is, come on, bro. The Mexican guy, he's like, I don't want to, he doesn't have any balls, what it comes down to. And so anyway, this is the group, this is the party that the cartels want because they're light on crime. And so it makes most, so they, ironically, the cartels support not so much communism more than somebody's going to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And so they're leaving them alone. Wow. That's what it comes down to. That's where we're at with them. But the worrisome is, again, she's just an older version of an AOC. It's as bad as getting Joe Biden. It's like getting Bernie Sanders and you get an AOC. And the thing with them is their terms are 6 years and you can't get reelected.
Oh, God.
It's what they call them sesenios. So it's not 4 years, it's 6 years. So the country just got 12 years of just straight shit.
Damn it.
Is what happened to them.
No good.
What does that happen? You have family there.
Yeah, of course.
What do they see in the economy? What do they see happening?
No, they don't like it because the same. It goes back to it's like if Bernie Sanders was running the country here, you can't build a bit. Even you talk to a taxi driver, they want to tax. You want to sell a taco, they'll tax it. They want you. They overregulate. They want to control everything. They think people are. The thing about communists is that they think people are stupid and that they can't fend for themselves, so they have to fend for you. So all the crybaby, self-proclaimed victims love them because the government's going to help us. No, you think you're a goddamn idiot. And so that's what's happening with the economy. As a matter of fact, I sent messages yesterday to my people in Mexico because I have employees over there. How are you feeling? They're like, we hate it. This is ridiculous. We can't work. We can't do this. We can't do that. And so, and a lot of people don't understand, like, is it that bad? Well, you got to remember, at one point in time, Venezuela was a thriving economy. Mm-hmm. Look what happened when you got Maduro and Chavez. To think that it can't happen to Mexico is the most naive thing that you can think. It's stupid. Every country that has let in socialism eventually opened the door for communism.
Venezuela is an oil country, a member of OPEC, and had a lot of money for the people in the country just coming out of the ground until it was corrupted back to the Stone Age.
Right. Well, because what happens is that, again, when you convince people you have their back, there's got to be a trade-off. If I'm giving you the power to help me, I'm giving you the power over everything. That's the trade-off with capitalism is like, I'm not going to help you, but I'm not going to get in your way. The trade-off with socialism and communism is I'll help you, but then I own everything you do come across. That's the problem. And so when you have, and one thing about, and I was telling this to a buddy of mine yesterday, the Mexican people, Hispanic people in general, not just Mexicans, are very gullible. Anybody that's on TV that has some type of status automatically becomes believable. They're so gullible. There's no research. There's no nothing.
Such as who? Like Jorge Ramos.
Jorge Ramos, the priest. The priest can say, by the way, not to talk bad about it because, but the Pope just made some 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid a saint. Who the fuck does that? You can't just make somebody a saint. Of the
internet or something, right?
No. He made him a saint because supposedly the kid died, whatever. They have him in a church that he made a miracle and saved 2 people. You can't make somebody a saint. But Hispanic people are so gullible that they'll eat all this shit up as something that's very going to benefit them when in reality, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Rob, pull up the story I just gave you from Wall
there it is. You just saw it right there, Rob? Did you see this, Pat?
What's that?
They made him a saint. They made this kid a saint.
What does that mean? They made him a saint?
That because he doesn't. So in the Catholic religion, if you do miracles, all of it, you're a saint now.
Yeah.
They made this kid a saint. He's a saint.
So click on that one story that says 10 things you should know about Blessed Carlos. Yeah, zoom in a little bit, Rob. Go lower. Let's see what they say. Okay, so 1. He was born May 3rd, 1990. No, this is not the same guy then, because that guy would be 34, 33 years old.
Well, when he died
when he was 14, he became
15,
a saint.
Something like that.
Okay, Carlos was diagnosed with leukemia as a teenager. Before his death in 2000, he was offered his sufferings to Pope Benedict and for his church, saying, I offer all my sufferings to the Lord, and Pope Church not to go purgatory, but to go straight to heaven. From young age, Carlos had a special love for God, even when his parents weren't especially devout. Next, go to number 4. Okay, so 4 is what? Carlos, witness of a child is a... Anyway, so this guy is apparently now a saint. We're talking. By the way, go to the article I sent you about Wall Street Journal, Rob. Go to that article. So this is what's interesting with what he's saying. And Ricky, I want you to unpack this. Tell me what this means on what this person is saying. So go to the Wall Street Journal article, Rob.
I'm blocked, so I have to find a different...
Really? You're blocked from Wall Street Journal?
Yes.
Man, they do not like you. Let me read it to you, okay? The results, this is from Wall Street Journal. Title says, Claudia Sheinbaum elected as Mexico's first female president. So now, what does this mean? This guy named Antonio Ocaranza, a Mexican political analyst, said Mexico's new Congress will be sworn in a month before Lopez Obrador leaves power on October 1st, giving him leeway to pass the changes before Sheinbaum takes office. If I'm an investor, I'm thinking, by the way, my audio is going up and down. Are you guys hearing this or no?
My audio and my headphones went in and out.
I'm an investor. I'm thinking these guys just got a blank check. What's going to happen? Lopez Obrador wants to complete his agenda and take the political cost of these decisions while leaving Sheinbaum a blank slate to begin.
That's correct.
What does that mean?
It's almost the same thing. You remember when what was his name? Bukele from El Salvador? Bukele?
Yes, Bukele.
He got the votes to change the constitution so he could get reelected.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. So because they have the majority right now. So Morena has a majority. So if you give this guy, if you have the majority and you can start doing amendments or changing the Congress and changing the Constitution, then you're letting this lady Claudia do whatever she wants. So basically, he's going to open the door for her to make changes because he's going to be able to change the Constitution, and she's going to do she's going to do his bidding for him while she's in office. So that's the trade-off. It's just like in America. Hey, we're going to go behind you, but this is what you're going to do in return. And this has always been something known in Mexico as far as that. So what they want you to do is change things to go into a communist, socialist form of doing things, and changing the Constitution would be detrimental to Mexico. Like for example, I'm a big fan of Bukele, but I don't think that what he did was right, because what happens when a tyrant takes that? Now a tyrant's going to run from that. So in their mind, I'm doing it for good. Yeah, but what happened? Like we had Salinas de Gortari, which changed the evaluation of the Mexican dollar, peso. He literally made people from millionaires to broke because he changed the money. The currency, he changed it from 1 minute to the next. Salinas de Gortari. So he ended up going to Cuba. All his family left to Cuba to go run because they wanted to kill him, and they still want to kill him because he's still alive. So when you do things like what Obrador is doing, or AMLO, he's opened up the door for tyranny. But he's doing we're doing this for the people.
Tom, what are you thinking?
That's what's happening.
This is why the system that we have in the United States is so important. Congress and Senate. What happens whenever you hear the phrase coalition government, you say he's been elected prime minister and now he's going to go build the coalition government. Well, the coalition government often means, and this is exactly what Vinny just said, let's say this happens, that we've got 3 parties, independents, Republicans, and Democrats. And the independents, let's just call them 20%. So the Republican wins, let's say 51%. If he gets the coalition with the independents and it gives him 70%, above 2/3, they don't even need to ask the Democrats to vote. They get to do whatever they want. And that is what's happened here.
They don't have to they can't filibuster.
Obrador has given her, he says, listen, I want these 5 things. You give me these 5 things. She says, okay, I'll give them to you. Okay. Then I'll pledge my votes to you. And now she has over 66%, which is 2/3. At 70%, she can change the Constitution because he has given her the votes to do it. There's no more debate on the floor. When they say she has a blank check, she now has over 66% to go change it. That's a coalition government that is common in places not named the United States.
It's very scary to be thinking about
dangerous.
For people who live over there. Yeah. Adam?
Well, I'll just add this because living in Miami, I can't tell you how many immigrants, newcomers, as Joe Biden will call them, are from Latin America, South America, that are fleeing communism. We all know what happened with Cuba in the 80s and even beyond that. But the country that I've seen the most, all that, when Fidel came, but obviously the growth of Miami in the 80s. But the biggest growth that I've seen in Miami has been Venezuelans. I mean, they are fleeing like crazy. So now I'm wondering how much of the Mexicans are going to be fleeing. We're seeing the open border policy that Biden's put together. But the reason I've been paying attention to Mexico politics isn't so much of the election. We all know that half the world is voting in 2024. I think Modi just got reelected in India. Putin just got reelected out there in Russia, reelected. Joe Biden may or may not get reelected.
Putin's been president for what, 20-something, 24 years?
Yeah. So...
It's a G.
There was. I've been doing this research on like the ongoing wars in the world. Yeah. Because if you look at just mainstream media or college campuses, you just think there's one war and one war only, and that's the little thing going on in Gaza. But there turns out to be wars going all over the world. But in the Western Hemisphere, Mexico is probably, other than Haiti, the bloodiest country out there. Of course. You know, they said that the most deadliest profession, the most dangerous job you can possibly in Mexico is running for office. Over 200 candidates, activists, or officials have been killed during this election season. 200. Imagine if 200 political officials or candidates were killed in America. Alarm bells would be going off right here. So it's insane.
Yeah, a lot of lead poisoning.
A lot of stuff going on there. But I'll say this. We're so used to 50-50 elections. This, all right, 48, 49, can we even get to 50%? It was a runaway in Mexico. It was 60-28. It was a blowout. Wasn't even close. So I'm not saying that I'm advocating for this person because she's, I think, a protege of your boy AMLO.
Yeah, but I want you to remember
Obrador, but she blew this guy
I know, I understand, bro. But here's the thing, though. Here's what you don't understand. A lot of people that are not from Mexico won't understand. When you go to that voting booth, when you go to those voting booths, especially in the rural areas where that's a lot of the voting, brother, you have cartel members right there. This is who you're going to vote for. You're going to die.
Holy shit. Literally.
No. It's not. Totally no. It's literal. Yeah. This is what you're going to do. So when you're saying when there are blowouts like that, it's intimidation. Because you talk to anybody. Well, I don't say anybody because there's some idiots out there too, just like we have idiots here. But the majority of the people in Mexico be like, dude, AMLO's a piece of shit and everything. They can't stand them. But you know what I can't stand? You know how many of my family members in America voted for the Mexican election that live here? So you could go to the embassy and vote in America for the that's bullshit. I'm like, they were doing the finger thing yesterday. You could vote in America for a Mexican government while you're not even living in Mexico. So there's a lot of that shit going on over here.
I wonder what America's role, since you're bringing this up, America's role in these free and fair elections here, because as of 2023, Mexico has now become USA's #1 trading partner. It was China, I believe, before that.
China,
Thank God not anymore China. But if you're the United States, if you're the government, the federal government, you see what the hell's going on with all these officials being killed. I mean...
Yeah, but they're not going to cross borders to go and help those guys. Because you're just talking about people that are running for mayor, running for Congress. If they don't like them, they just out their ass. And nobody's going to talk about it because if you open your mouth, you're dead. Matter of fact, if crime happens in Mexico, you're better off not calling the cops. That's what you're.
But it's crazy. Imagine, honey, call the cops. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's scary. Not only is it the crime and the corruption, but it's now the communism. Because what countries in South America are even capitalist at this point? Argentina, Who else is out there? Bolsonaro when he was running Brazil? Not anymore. Now they got Lulu.
Costa Rica, Belize, both have long been known to be like islands of democracy for some reason.
They just want nobody to pay. Like they are scared for you to mention Costa Rica and Belize. You know, I met a couple the other day in their 60s. Were you with? And I don't know if maybe you were with us. They're like, so where do you guys live? Oh, we live in Costa Rica. How long have you been there? 15 years. Please don't tell anybody. It's heaven. It's amazing. We love it there.
Really?
We don't want anybody to know. Business. We don't have a military. Low key. Great for business. Great for this. We feel very safe. It's a beautiful place. Don't advertise it. Guess what? We just advertise it right now.
Sorry.
So,
That's how I feel about Miami, by the way. There's nothing going on in Miami, guys.
It's too late with Miami.
There's nothing going on.
Anyways, if you haven't seen Ricky in a while, Ricky is on Manek. You can message him. You may be listening to this saying, man, I like the way that guy talks. I remember he used to be on back in the days. You can Manek and message him directly. Send a video on Manek. Text him on Manek. He'll get back to you. That's his QR code right there. Okay, let's go to the next story. Caitlin Clark. Rob, can you pull up the foul on Caitlin Clark and what's happened with the frenzy, with the market reacting to this? So this video is Caitlin's about to get the inbound pass, and then she gets fouled. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob. Go for it.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
And look at her teammates on the sides.
Big time content as the officials are going to take a look at what just transpired between Carter and Clark.
That's a dirty foul. That's not a basketball play, but it's a dirty foul, right?
That's clearly.
And so you see this, you can stop it, Rob, right there. And then the whole NBA reacts to it. And yesterday on First Take, there was this lady on First Take yesterday upset with the fact that Stephen A. Smith hasn't been talking about WNBA enough for the last few years. And she's calling him out. And it got pretty nasty. Rob, I'm going to text this to you. You have this? Go ahead and play this clip. Go for it.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on one second.
Have you...
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break. And we didn't necessarily go there, and maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. No. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are going to say you know, and Stephen A., I know you just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program, too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
Could I say something?
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow. Look at this.
Wow.
All right, we got to go to you guys.
So you can pause it right there. You can pause it right there.
So, but okay, well, first of all, she's talking all that trash. Could you imagine if it was reverse racist? If that was a white girl,
white supremacy,
a black rookie, what would have happened? By the way,
white supremacy.
Pat McAfee, Pat McAfee yesterday called Caitlin a white bitch.
That's right.
He said,
do you have that clip, Rob?
Yeah, Rob, why are you looking it up? He said,
but it was not. It was in a different context. That's the way he talked.
He said, what the WNBA currently has is what we like to describe as a cash cow. There's a superstar. He said, and this is what he said. Hold on a second. I would like the media. This rookie class.
Go ahead and play the clip.
Go ahead, Rob.
But look at the context.
I don't know. With my eyes,
Clay
I couldn't
Travis
see if she's Caucasian or not. So I think what we're trying to say is what the WNBA currently has is what we like to describe as a cash cow. There is a superstar. And we're not saying that the players on the court need to act any differently. That's the athletes are going to do what athletes are going to do in any sport. And I think we're all learning that WNBA, that's old school football, baby.
Yeah, dog.
That is old. That is old school football. But I would like the media people that continue to say, this rookie class, this rookie class, this rookie class. Nah, just call it for what it is. There's one white bitch for the Indiana team who is a superstar. And is it because she stayed in Iowa, put an entire state on her back, took a program from nothing to a multiple-year success story? Is it because she would go on to break the entire points records in the history of the NCAA? Not just the women's record by Kelsey Plum, shout out, but also Pistol Pete Maravich's, the dude's record as well. Is there a chance that people just enjoy watching her play basketball because how electrifying she is, what she did, what she stood for, how she went about going, what she went
Making
for?
a very good argument.
But instead, we have to hear people say that we only like her because she's white, and she's the only popular because the rest of the rookie class is doing what they're doing. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit, and we think the WNBA, more specifically, their refs need to stop trying to screw her over at every single turn. What you have is somebody special.
You can pause it
and
right
we're
there,
lucky.
Rob. She is special. She's electrifying.
Do you remember we were in here, we were talking, Adam, and we were talking about her first game and how it wasn't going to be, I don't know who was it. It might have been you, Adam. I was like, it's not going to be packed and it's going to keep on going. Did you guys see the audience when she got bumped? That shit is packed. She is making a change.
Record-breaking attendance.
Record-breaking. And I hate this. Guys, they always go to freaking race because she's white. No, she's nasty. The same thing with Eminem when you see people that are like, I'm not going to put him in the top 10. What are you, nuts? Eminem, I don't give a shit about his color. He is nasty lyrically. So you can't, again, with the race situation, it's like, by the way, this girl has pumped life into the WNBA, which nobody was talking about the WNBA just in a joking manner. She has made the WNBA and they hate it. What's the girl, PBD? The number one draft of last year. Was it last year?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese was talking crap about her. She's like, it's not just her. What about me? The most selfish interview. You have that one, Rob? I think I might have sent it to you. I actually did. She's pissed off because they're not. She's like, it's not just about one player. It's about me too. And it's like, wait, time out. Nobody. I haven't even seen it. This is the aftermath.
Started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Well, technically, no, because that's BS.
You got to see the way she walks, to Rob. While he's saying his stuff, find a clip that I just.
Because think about PBD. You know what she did when the girl got elbowed? Yeah. She's cheering and celebrating. That's why they're going to talk about you. They're talking about the girl, that white bitch that is nasty. They're only talking about. By the way, have you even thought of any WNBA game in the past?
Never.
Especially with this girl.
Watch the way she walks. This may change your mind. Just be patient. Just watch
this one.
What the fuck is going on here, man?
That's her.
That's how I walk when I have high heels when I'm doing sketches as a trans. All right. That's how I walk.
I'm just gonna.
There you go, Governor of Florida.
What are you gonna do, Adam?
Go ahead,
Governor. That was a good one, Tom. Governor of Florida. It's actually funny. I've just been biding my time out here, guys. Enjoy the next few days of giving a F about the WNBA. I'm going to let you guys in on a dirty little secret. This company, this corporation called the WNBA is not profitable. They don't make money. They've never made money. They're fully subsidized by their daddy, the NBA. The NBA generates $10 billion a year, and they basically give tzedakah or tithing to the WNBA. They say, all right, you're doing good. And I'm all for girls doing their thing, playing sports, okay. But they don't put what you call at the big event butts in seats. And I get they're shoving Caitlin Clark down people's throats because she's a cash cow. Great, they're going to market the hell out of this white chick. That's whatever she is. She puts the ball in the hole. But don't get it twisted. Nobody cares about the WNBA. Nobody watches the WNBA. I challenge any one of you to name 5 players who play in the WNBA.
I don't know the 5 teams.
There you go.
I don't even know the team.
What team does Caitlin Clark even play for?
What's your point, though, bro? And by the way,
point is, this is all fabricated. This is all bullshit.
Yeah.
The fact that we're even talking about, I respect it. It's a non-story. She's in the greater context of sports, she's a nobody.
You really think?
Enjoy her shine right now.
You don't. But, Adam,
but this is a non-story.
So you don't think she has like literally put life into WNBA? Yeah, we're talking about it right now, but I don't think she's going anywhere. And I think she is going to literally turn this thing around. Not because of the stupid controversial bump, but bro, people are selling. They're selling out to watch this girl play.
Look, people love celebrity, and they love to watch achievement, and they love to see these new personalities. You know, when I was in high school, you know, I ran cross country.
Yes.
I was not a starter on the team. I was not there, but I really appreciated.
You gave me linebacker vibes.
I thought so too, Ricky. I thought he was in the locker room bullying people.
Thank you very much. But let me tell you something. What I love. Do you remember Carl Lewis and FloJo?
Yes.
It caused everybody to be interested in track and field. I loved watching track and field on TV. I love watching the relay. I love watching 1,500 meters. People thought it was boring, but there was personalities of FloJo and Carl Lewis brought audience to it. Men's swimming. Look what Michael Phelps did. We were suddenly interested. Is Michael Phelps going to break another record? Every now and then, these wonderful athletes that also have these sparkling personalities cause you to be interested in a sport you wouldn't normally be interested in. Why can't we celebrate the achievement of an athlete rather than saying, oh, this is going to come and go, says Adam, because the WNBA, is losing money. It is subsidized by the NBA. It is not really watched by people. It's not. Why not celebrate the fact that there's some lift that's coming here,
Tom,
and you got somebody doing it?
Tom, Let me show something before you react to it. Rob, just go to what I just sent you, Rob. Go zoom in real quick. Okay, so check this out. This is major golf TV rating history. Okay,
golf
Masters to the left, PGA, U.S. Open, British.
Yeah, let's go see what happened in 1999.
Let's focus on Masters. Okay, look what numbers you see: 9.5, 5.6 million. No one's really watching it, right? 10.8, 13 million. Okay, now go all the way down. Tom, we got it, Tom. Glad you're directing here. Go to the first year where he comes in.
2001.
1997. Bingo.
Ho!
20.3 million. It goes up from 12.4 to 20.3 million. What's the point here? One person can change the game, and Tiger.
Is that when Tiger came in?
That's when Tiger came in.
Well, he brought a whole new audience.
He brought a whole new audience.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Caitlin Clark is doing. So how many people did he make rich? By the way, if you ask me, pre-1997, how many golfers I knew? The only reason I knew Lee Trevino is because he was the most expensive golf cart. It's the only reason. I've never watched Lee Trevino play.
Yeah.
I had his golf cart, and everybody would brag about it. And he had a few, I'm telling you.
Lee Trevino.
And then he joins. He gets into it. You're like, what is this all about? You had Middle Easterns on the freaking golf course. They don't belong on a golf course.
But they were hanging on the sand.
Yeah.
They were in the sand the whole time.
Spending time on the sand, having like some real nice coffee and stuff. But, well, what's the point? I think what Kate, by the way, I still haven't watched the game. So your point, the fact that I haven't watched it, I haven't watched it. The only thing I'm curious about, which you said when we had the conversation a couple months ago, guys, she's going to make nothing. She's going to make the minimum wage. Great.
She makes $73,000 a year, but her contract for Nike.
But it's going to change. It's going to change because they had more people go to a Los Angeles Sparks game this year than the Lakers. There was more people attending a Sparks game this year than Lakers. Did you hear about this? When you get people butts in seats, pay for people changes, cash flow changes. So you're right. But there's one thing that she does that's duplicatable. Okay, so check this out. To me, it's not just shoots the ball. Who's the most? Who in the last 10 years? Let's not even say 10 years. What year are we? 2024. In the 2010 to 2019, that decade. Okay, who was the most exciting player to watch in the NBA?
And what decade was it?
From 2010-11 till 2020.
LeBron.
Who was the most exciting player?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe or LeBron?
You know who I would say to me number one?
For 2010?
Exciting?
Steph Curry.
Oh, yeah, Steph Curry.
Let me tell you.
Steph Curry,
Let me tell you. Honestly, I'm telling you. Because Steph was doing something that seemed impossible. LeBron is 6'8", 260. You're like, okay, that makes sense. Are you telling me this guy's shooting the ball, turning around and walking off? What is this all about? He did it in the All-Star game, and he walks off. And then Nick Young tried to do it, and it didn't go. And I think John Wall tried to do it. He couldn't go.
PBD, I never cut you. I'm going to cut you off. You see what you just did there?
What?
You just named 6 NBA players without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
John Wall did this, and then Nick Young did this, Swaggy P.
What I'm saying to you is, I'm making the case study of Steph. Well, not Steph. I'm sorry, Caitlyn.
He's
with
relatable.
Tiger. And all I'm saying to you is you related to Tiger, military, like military daddy. Like, okay, you related to like, are you kidding me? You're not supposed to be this big person that can. This is that duplicatable, and then you're diselectrifying. No, within 3, 6, 12 months, we're going to see if this is just a fluke or if it's real or not.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
We're 100% on the same page there. I'm with you, 100%. The best clip of what I thought who gave the best feedback on this Caitlin Clark thing, and it's so evergreen to every industry. Go to Valuetainment's. Actually, matter of fact, I think I texted it to you. Go to Valuetainment's Twitter account. If you can go to Valuetainment's Twitter account, and find, you got to go down a minute to, right there, right, the clip. Oh, shit.
Matt Barnes?
You go back. You did, okay.
Matt Barnes?
Matt Barnes. Watch what he says here. Watch what he says. Rewind a little bit and play it.
Hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down. It is what it is. She's not the first. She won't be the last. My issue and my question is, where the fuck are her teammates at?
Yes.
Where y'all at? Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team. She's the star. You always protect your star. I was someone who protected the star.
That's right.
You fuck with Kobe, CP, Blake, list goes on. It's going to be a problem.
I love it. Yeah, he was.
And you wonder why you sit at the bottom of the league right now is because y'all don't protect each other. He calls out the coaches. Coach don't do shit about it. Players don't do shit about it. Y'all should be ashamed of it. But the rest of the league is going to continue to test her.
The
and that's what they're
best
supposed to do.
clip I've seen from everybody was Matt Barnes. Good for you.
Good job, Matt.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I agree.
He also protects his wife. Didn't he drive 2 hours one night to beat the crap out of Derek Fisher? He also protects his wife.
You had to, Tom. That's my boy.
Speaking of protecting Kobe, his most famous play ever was the inbounds play where he tried to pump fake Kobe. Let me just say a few things. I'm going to rattle it off. You know when a club opens, believe me, I know about the club scene in Miami. When a club opens up in Miami, you know the best time that everyone says is the first few months. Oh my God, the newest club, it's open. And I always say, circle back to me in a year and let me know how this club is doing. You know, 80% of the clubs will close. Circle back to me in a year on Caitlin Clark. Ain't nobody going to be talking about this girl because the sizzle will be gone. She's a rookie. She's hot. She's new. Oh, my God. By the way, it's summer. What sports are going on right now? There's a week until the NBA finals start. There's nothing going on in the NBA. The Olympics are going to start in the next few months. WNBA season won't be there. When NFL starts, MLB playoff starts, this won't be a thing. So that's great. Enjoy it now. That's all I'm saying. Appreciate it now. You talk about zombie companies all the time, Pat. They're just keeping them afloat. They're not making any money. How long are we going to do this? How long is it sustainable? Let them fail. They're not going to let the WNBA fail because NBA makes all the money. They're going to DEI this woke agenda all over these females making layups while the NBA players are dunking on people. So enjoy it now. I'm just not a believer that this is sustainable long term.
Listen,
follow the money.
You know what the market loves? So let me ask you. This is just to everybody, open-ended. Why do you think it's doing well? I think it's one word. I'm telling you. Why did the Tiger do well? And he brought all these eyeballs to golf. Why is Caitlin doing well?
Hype.
It's truly one word.
Hype.
I don't. Okay, so that's fine, but I don't think that's the main word for me. But let's say hype is one. Because, by the way, the reason why I don't think it's just hype, all-time scoring leader in Iowa, one person takes it to the finals. She loses, but they had nobody else. And she scored more points in college than Pistol Pete Maravich, who he died in an interesting way. Yeah, so why do you think it's happening? Why do you think it's happening?
You're picking one word. One word.
Is DEI?
Is it race?
No.
Wokeness?
Is it race?
No.
Stats.
Feminism?
No.
Progressive?
It's one word to me, and it's underdog. I'm telling you. I'm telling you because to me, it's like people want to see the underdog give what? The middle finger.
Yeah.
What is like even Trump? You were like, dude, this guy's not supposed to be a president.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're saying Hillary's supposed to be, Romney's supposed to be, all of these. You're not supposed to be. America is obsessed with the freaking underdog. It's called capitalism.
PBD, I've never disagreed with you more.
Why?
On all our arguments in 4 years, I fight with Ricky less than I'm fighting with you right now.
I think you have the hots for Kate.
PBD, there's certain universal truths, and I will never back down on this.
What?
Women are beauty objects. Men are success objects. Ain't nobody give a shit about lesbians playing basketball. I'm sorry.
She's a lesbian?
They Holler, bro.
By the way, can you verify this? We can't.
I don't know what she is.
so.
I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she is.
But
Allegedly, maybe she likes some foods. I'm just saying there's a high likelihood, allegedly, that they're all dating each other.
I come home yesterday with Papa and Dylan are watching. Yeah. What do you think they're watching?
Baywatch.
Freaking Tenet.
That's right. You know what I know they weren't watching? The WNBA game.
CJ. It's like the Sacha Baron Cohen. He's like, I was in my hotel room. I saw this woman named CJ. I had to meet her. She was so beautiful. She was the love of my life.
So she's not. So, by the way, just to clarify, she's not gay. She's dating.
She's the one WNBA star that is into dudes.
They were watching.
Brittany Griner, lesbian. Diana Taurasi, lesbian.
They were watching, but that's even more of a point of underdog. So
she's the underdog because she's not a lesbian.
But no, hear me out.
What is happening right now?
A straight white girl goes into a league filled with lesbian blacks and beats their asses.
She's not. Her team is 1 in 100. She's not beating their asses.
If she does,
they're losing.
If she does,
allegedly,
didn't she just come?
Why are we fighting about
Ricky, women's
basketball?
I'm still telling you, I'm not watching female basketball.
Yeah,
but
period.
I love any underdog story. And if she's able to go out there and school them, guess what? I'm going to be there rooting for.
We're just hoping she capitalizes.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think so as well.
Ricky, I know that all the gangbangers in Mexico love the WNBA, bro.
No, we don't watch
What?
That
what are you
shit,
talking
bro.
about?
By the way, just so you know, we don't have never mind.
Forget it.
We don't let women play sports, bro. Stay in the kitchen with an apron on, baby. This guy literally 10 minutes ago said, I don't believe women should be running countries.
I don't.
You're going to be
Well, they can run the courts, Adam. Relax.
All right.
I beat your ass.
Let's go to the
Anyway,
next story.
love you, ladies.
Adam
Let's go to
is
the
a
next
straight
story.
plus
Love you,
racism and misogyny.
I love you, pretty ladies.
I think the right appropriate direction to go with this is Diddy. I think that's the best transition here to go into Diddy. So, first of all, a few things coming out. You know, this guy's not going away. You got this movie that's coming out that Diddy and Russell Brand did in the 2000. That the video's going kind of viral. I actually watched that video in 2010. A couple articles. Where is Diddy? The embattled rapper last seen in Miami is MIA after bombshell Exposé. Miami Herald. Blood threats and tears inside Diddy's nightmare workplace. Notorious B.I.G.'s mom. Okay, this is Rolling Stone. I want to slap the daylights out of Sean Combs. Diddy's missing daughter's graduation amid grand jury news. Diddy allegedly stalked J-Lo after breakup, okay? Federal grand jury to hear from Diddy's accusers. Eyewitness claimed Diddy allegedly beat college girlfriend with a belt in front of other students. John Legend says he's horrified. I mean, all these stories you're looking at. Diddy, 10 takeaways from our 6-month investigation. 7 most shocking claims from the... Go to the Rolling Stone one, by the way, Rob, if you can. 7 most shocking claims from the Rolling Stone expose on Diddy Combs. It was such a long expose that the only person at this table that read it was Tom Ellsworth. That's how long it was.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Tom actually read the whole thing. And Tom, I'm going to come to you right after I read this. So the 7 shocking truths from the Rolling Stone expose. Diddy's abuse allegedly dates back to college. I just told you the story about him. His violent behavior reportedly started at Howard University. Multiple women recalled signs of a controlling and abusive personality. One former student claimed Diddy caressed her back without warning, prompting her to avoid him. Another said he flew off the handle when called out for cutting the cafeteria line. An eyewitness described Diddy beating his girlfriend with a belt, saying he screamed and hollered and acted a stone fool until she came downstairs. He whooped her butt, like really whooped her butt. Number 2, Sister Souljah allegedly warned Joy Dickerson Neal about Diddy. Diddy allegedly attacked a woman in his own Bad Boy office. Kirk Burroughs, co-founder of Bad Boy, and other witnesses claimed that had heard tear Combs off a woman during an assault in 1994. Felicia Newsom, a former manager, recounted holding Diddy back from beating this girl's ass during another altercation. Former intern April Lampros also accused Diddy of sexually assaulting, claiming he forced her to perform oral sex and drugged her. 4, Diddy slighted Biggie Smalls on a posthumous Rolling Stone cover. Check this out. After the Notorious Biggie's death, Diddy allegedly prioritized his own debut album over Biggie for a Rolling Stone cover. That's dirty right there. Kirk Burroughs recalled suggesting Biggie for the cover, but Diddy insisted, no, he's dead. I'm putting out Combs' debut album, No Way Out, in July. I need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. Diddy later acknowledged Biggie's death boosted his album sales, saying at least 2 million of the 5 million copies No Way Out sold were due to his death. 5, Diddy allegedly broke a chair over the late music exec's head for dating his ex, Kim Porter. Diddy's former private chef, allegedly he requested a post-coital, what is that, Tom? Meal
post-coital, after sex.
After sex.
Meal and greeted her naked. Diddy was allegedly jealous of Tupac and Biggie's relationship.
Fucking guy.
Look at that outfit. Look at that outfit. Look at that outfit.
Diddy was reportedly jealous of the friendship between the Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. Photographer Monique Bunn claimed Pac saw Diddy as a corny executive and had no respect for Puff. Diddy allegedly encouraged Biggie to write beefy songs, including the controversial Who Shot Ya?, which escalated the East Coast-West Coast rivalry. Diddy denied offering $1 million to kill Tupac despite claims from former Crip Dwayne Keith Davis.
I'm just going to be real quick. There was a song back in the day by the Locks that called Money, Power, Respect, Street Love, Money, Power, Respect, Money, Power, Respect. He got the money, he got the power, he got the respect, and he developed basically a Messiah-like, God-like complex. And he thought that he was untouchable. Can't do anything. He's a billionaire. I want to say he might be the first black hip-hop billionaire. Was it Jay-Z or him? Jay-Z. Right there, tied neck and neck. But Jay-Z actually has none of these stories coming out. Dre, also a billionaire, has none of these stories coming out. It's so funny what's happening with Diddy because this was inevitable. You know the famous poem, "The Emperor Has No Clothes On." Nobody around him told him, "Yo, bro, what are you doing?" You told me none of his handlers, none of his friends, no one around him was like, "Bro, what is going on right now?"
It's not that nobody told him. You couldn't tell him anything. What the fuck are you going to tell a guy that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars or billion? He's going to tell you to fuck off. That's what's going to end up at. What are you going to tell a guy like that, bro? What are you going to tell him? It's not that he didn't.
I don't know. No. I mean, but that's on him. No, because I know plenty of successful people, billionaire people, even PBD. They appreciate people around them that say, "Nah, man, I actually disagree."
But not everybody's like that, bro.
Well, clearly he needed that.
Yeah.
So maybe word to the wise, if you're that person in power, have some not yes men around you. What's the famous Marcus Aurelius thing? Who did he have walking around him at all times? The emperor of Rome. He had a slave walk behind him that did what?
You're not that special.
You're not that special.
Yeah.
PBD, Diddy didn't have that in his life.
But here's the thing, though. How can you see that long list? I mean, the list of crap that he's done and he's gotten away with, and it seems to me that anybody that's a staunch supporter of the Democratic Party, rock the vote, go do this, they are protected, and he's can literally get away with murder. And you heard Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes goes like this. What, Adam? It seems to me like Democrats.
I would hardly.
If that was a Republican, if he voted for Trump, if he came out,
I'm going to hear you.
Okay, hold on. If he came out,
I'm going to say one thing and continue.
Go.
I would hardly make this political.
Why not?
And I would hardly say that he's getting away with anything. His life is ruined.
No, really? But is he in jail yet? Has he been arrested?
Who knows?
Well, no, but
this is not exactly a good look.
My point is, are you ready for this? If he was a Trump supporter,
he'd be done.
He'd be in fucking jail. Sorry for my language, I have to. He'd be in jail 5 years ago. Let's not play that game. And Matt Barnes, Pat, what did he say over there? Where are her teammates? Where are the coaches? All those girls that have been abused and had their asses beat and everything, raped. Where are the fathers? Where are the friends and the family? Ricky, if one of your daughters, if that was your daughter getting dragged in that hotel, what would you have done?
That guy'd be dead.
You're going to jail. I'm going to jail. Where are all these people, these family members just sitting there going, man, I wish they really catch Diddy. Bullshit. Where are you guys at?
Well, you don't.
And it is political, Adam, to me, because it seems to me one side literally does whatever the hell they want. But if you, like from Menendez, from the guy from Jersey, from all these people, but if you are a Republican, if you vote for Trump, jail. Straight to jail.
I don't follow hip hop. And I
What?
Oh, breaking news, guys. What?
Go ahead.
Hang on. I don't follow hip hop, and I'm generally aware of the personalities and the music that goes with it. But when all this broke, and when the Rolling Stone article came out, I read it out of just maybe an interest in conspiracy and crime,
curiosity.
And what I noticed. I start looking at the things. Everybody's screaming about this, screaming about that, screaming about East-West, screaming about did he have a finger on the trigger of what happened with Tupac or and all the things that go with that. And something jumped out to me, facts, and I noticed that Rolling Stone said they started their their investigation, their 6th month's story that ended up in this huge article with facts. Talked to this person, they said this. Everything they put in there, they were attributing it, not an opinion. So they started doing this December, and I said, wait a minute. The Diddy raid in L.A. was March 25th. I went back and looked it up. And that was from the cops. You know what it tells me? Something happened toward the end of last year. Maybe it's an accumulation of things. And Rolling Stone starts investigating, and the feds start investigating, and then they get the raid on March 25th. The plane flies empty. What was in there? Empty of people. But remember, his plane went down to Florida. Diddy met it at Opalaka, was pacing around down there. People were watching him. Something's going down, and I'm waiting for the flower of justice to bloom and show it what it is. Because Rolling Stone was working on this for 6 months, and in the middle of that, before the story's even published, after they've got interviews, the feds on March 25th do the raid. Something bigger is below the surface here, and I want to see it.
That's very, and you told me that yesterday, which was very interesting. So anytime someone's doing an expose on you, you'll generally know. It's not a surprise when it comes out. Because an expose, in order to be a proper expose, it means you're doing what? Calling around and asking others. And what happens when you call around and ask others to want to throw you under the bus? 1 or 2 people are not going to play games, right? They're going to be like, no, I'm not with it. And those people who you try to get exposed, who you try to get things from, who are they going to call?
The source.
You. They're going to call you and they're going to say, hey, just want to let you know these guys are writing something on you. Be ready for it. Hey, just want to let you know these guys are writing something on you. Be ready for it. Hey, just be. So I guarantee you, not only did Rolling Stone probably call the people that they were calling around, called Diddy, and Diddy knew that that expose was coming out. You know who else knew? The Fed knew. The Fed and all the people that decided to go after him did not want this to come out after, and then they didn't do anything because they would look like idiots, okay? So these guys said, listen, we better go out there and take this guy out now to show strength before Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone cannot come before us. We have to come before Rolling Stone. Anyways, the way you broke that down when you said the 6 months and 2 months tells me maybe even Rolling Stone pushed the feds to go and raid his house. Maybe.
Or Rolling Stone heard that the feds were onto this and started writing their bigger story.
Could be both.
Could be
and
both.
The feds were sniffing around and Rolling Stone found it. Pete Travers was always a really well-connected guy at Rolling Stone. Jan Wenner was always really well-connected. Yeah. And so it's very, very interesting, the stuff that comes out.
Tom, I got to give you credit, man. You might not know hip-hop, but you know the music industry. You know what's going on here. You're from the streets.
Tom doesn't play games. He ran track.
Tom's from Compton.
Have you seen Tom's calves?
Tom's calves are ridiculous.
But speaking of fellow hip-hoppers.
Straight out of Northridge, man.
That's right. Allegedly, Kanye went on that rant in the Drink Champs, and he basically said, because he's a fucking Fed.
Yeah.
He basically accused Diddy of being a Fed. So we're talking about this Feds here. I don't know what's going on here, but legit, the best point that you made on Diddy is what's going to happen with this slow drip another month from now?
Yeah.
Another month from now. What's going to come out?
2 weeks ago.
What's going to come out? So let's see what happens here with Diddy. But you're absolutely right. When the feds broke into Miami and LA the same day, that was in March, what's happened? The Cassie tape just came out. What other tapes are out there?
How do you?
The one lady said that there's a $500 million payment for tapes. Remember we played that a few weeks ago?
Yep.
Let's see what happens here.
Yep. Well, it's no good.
No, let's go to the next clip. Rob, so why don't you pull up Rob? Anthony Fauci had a rough Monday. I know you got sympathize.
Little Tony.
He had a rough
Mr.
Monday.
Tony.
Sexiest man on earth, according to The Guardian, had a rough Monday.
Yeah.
Just challenging time. A lot of trolling going on, inappropriate type of stuff. Just, why don't we start off with the first one, Rob? Go to, not this one, go to the one of MTG. Go to MTG.
I love
not that one, but that one. There you go. Play that one. Play that one right there. Watch this.
Science. Here, your science is displayed.
No, not this one, Rob.
perfectly.
Not this one. There's one that's better than this. There's one that's her fully doing the whole thing. Just go to Twitter. Just go to Twitter and type in MTG and Fauci. If you go on, there's a full one from the beginning. That's the one, Rob. That's the one.
You represent science, Mr. Fauci.
I am a scientist who uses the scientific method to gain information.
Yes or no?
No, that's not a yes or no
Yes,
answer.
it's a yes or no.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, we'll take that as you don't know what you represent. You confess that you made up the COVID rules. including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You
I
made it
didn't
up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr. Fauci?
I didn't say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But you also told the American people they had to distance by 6 feet. They had to wear masks. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. That man does not deserve to have a license.
Watch what happens here.
As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
Suspend.
This was a time in history where you got to throw out the first pitch at the Washington Nationals baseball game while Americans were forced to stay home and watch such events that they love from at home alone on their televisions. And what a hypocrisy this picture shows. Here you are without your mask, with empty seats everywhere. Remember the cardboard cutout fans? That was one of the most insulting things to Americans, having to watch the games from home where you got to go and enjoy the game and sit right next to people not following the 6 feet of distancing, not wearing your mask, and everyone else was forced to stay home and stop enjoying life. And your science here, your science is displayed perfectly in this picture where children in school were put in plastic bubbles because of your science. Your repulsive, evil science. And let's go back to your very own email. You said earlier you don't use email. Oh, you do. Right here. This is your own email where you said the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus. I do not recommend that you wear a mask. This is your email. This is your own words. But yet children all over America were forced to wear masks. Healthy children forced to wear masks, muzzled in their schools. And then they were forced to learn from home because of your so-called science and your medical suggestions while you and all your cronies get paid from Big Pharma. You know that what this committee should be doing? We should be recommending you to be prosecuted. We should be writing a criminal referral because you should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. You belong in prison.
Go to the next one, Rob. Go to the one where he gets emotional and he's being asked and he gets emotional and the person behind him. It's the clip right there. Watch this one here. Back up a little bit.
Texts, letters of myself, my wife, my 3 daughters. There have been credible death threats leading to the arrests of 2 individuals, and credible death threats mean someone who clearly was on their way to kill me. And it's required my having protective services essentially all the time. It is very troublesome to me.
Not RFK, but you, yeah.
It is much more troublesome because they've involved my wife and my 3 daughters.
At these moments, how do you feel?
Stage.
Yeah.
Keep your mic on.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Do you continue to receive threats today?
Yes, I do. Every time someone gets up and says I'm responsible for the death of people throughout the world, the death threats go up.
You're responsible for the death of people throughout the world. You're responsible for the death of people throughout the world.
You know the crazy thing about this whole thing is the Democrats, not one pressed him on anything. They were all worshiping him and kissing his ass with all the stuff.
How do you feel?
And by the way, that doesn't do anything for me. He is literally, this guy is an enemy of the people. He sold his soul a long time ago, PBD, and he's protected now by our tax dollars. Your guys' tax dollars protects his freaking, he puts the rat in bureaucrat. Let me say what I have to say, PBD. I hate for saying this, but because I'm trying to be a good person, but knowing that he has to live in fear gives me comfort. I'm not for the death threats, but the fact that he has to live with what he's done to us, what he did to America, what he did to the world, all the suffering, all the people's lives, all the vaccine injured people. Freaking Kelly, one of our producers, PBD, she's going through it right now because of the shit that these guys pumped up, and these tears don't do nothing for me, okay? And now because people have threatened and him, I don't believe the whole wife and daughters. Think about all the wives and daughters that died under his mouth and all his rules and shit, and nobody could go to their wives and daughters' funerals. They couldn't go to church. These alligators' tears do nothing for me. And it's not like PBD, we weren't warned about him. RFK warned us in the book. And then there's another guy, PBD, Dr. Kerry Ellis. Rob has a clip. He's a Nobel Peace Prize winner and the inventor of the PCR test. He died in August 2019, months before the COVID pandemic. He tried to warn us about people like Dr. Fauci, and he died. Do you mind if I play this clip, PBD? Listen to those words.
What is it? What is it about
Who's
humanity?
this guy? Well, he's a Dr. Kerry Mullis, Nobel Peace Prize.
All the details and stuff, and listen. You know, these guys like Fauci get up there and start talking. You know, he doesn't know anything really about anything, and I'd say that to his face. Nothing. The man thinks you can take a blood sample and stick it in an electron microscope, and if it's got a virus in there, you'll know it. He doesn't understand electron microscopy, and he doesn't understand medicine, and he should not be in a position like he's in. Most of those guys are
Fauci.
Total administrative people, and they don't know anything about what's going on at the bottom. You know, those guys have got an agenda, which is not what we would like them to have, being that we pay for them to take care of our health in some way. They've got a personal kind of agenda. They make up their own rules as they go. They change them when they want to, and they smugly, like Tony Fauci, does not mind going on television in front of the people that pay his salary and lie directly into the
What's this guy's name, bro?
Dr. Kerry Mullis. He won a Nobel Peace Prize, and he invented...
Nobel Prize, not Peace Prize. Nobel Prize.
No, I think it's Nobel Peace Prize, actually. I think he won... Let's check.
There's Nobel Prizes in like 11 disciplines.
But let's see if he's disciplined. Which one did he win?
He won a
Nobel Prize. You're right, Tommy.
In chemistry.
Chemistry. Yeah. So he's not a lightweight. He warned us a long time ago.
That's legit, man.
Tom, and RFK warned us about him with the COVID. Think about what he did in the book, The Real Dr. Fauci, with AIDS and what he suffered and what he did to all these people. And just to recap, this is what happened. They basically figured out that Fauci pursued gain-of-function research, was responsible for funding the Wuhan lab while everybody warned us of the dangers. The virus leaked from the lab, which ruined the country, trillions of dollars in debt, ruined everybody's lives, killed millions. Fauci and them were paraded as heroes, and Trump was ridiculed for pushing the lab leak theory. And instead of admitting it, Fauci and other doctors did what they could to cover it up. And that makes it worse, is that these idiots like him accepted millions. I think it was like $700 million in royalties for the vaccine. And it drives me crazy, PBD. Nothing is going to happen to him. Period. And that's what we talked about solutions. I think, Tom, and what do you think about this? We need to have a civilian accountability board that has people like you, that has people like Elon Musk, that has Dr. Malone, that has these people that goes, okay, one issue at a time. We're not letting this Congress BS get away with it, because one side, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I love her. What's going to come of that? What's going to come of all the facts that we just found out? He is a known liar. He is a Michael Cohen in the virology department. He's a freaking liar. Nothing happens. We need accountability from the civilians that are well versed in this field to have him go. That guy deserves to go to prison. Am I right?
I agree with you, but I believe the future looks bright because we are on the verge of an election, and the fact that he is in front of our elected officials, enduring a grueling inspection. Do I think something will happen right now under the current leadership in the White House and current leadership in Congress in terms of prosecution? No. But do I think that this election is important? Do I think the future looks bright for brave people that want to step up and have like a Warren Commission and really go after this? Yes. So I'm confident in the future, but we need an election and we need everybody to participate to do it. Otherwise, you're correct. Nothing will come of it. But the fact that he was in Congress yesterday, the fact that we were laying this on the line, and the fact that so many people at home are saying that, you know what, looking back to the last 4 years, yeah, this is effed up.
Yeah.
What's going to happen here? Maybe that gets them off to vote for people who can put a commission together, who can take steps. I hope so.
I hope so too, because there's nothing to stop them from doing this again, Ricky. Now they're talking about this bird flu,
to stop
swine flu.
At the moment.
At the moment.
I understand your ire. I understand your passion. I'm with you 1,000%. Just remember, at the moment, because leaders rise up, voters rise up, and then guess what? It's time to bring justice, and it's time to take a deeper look.
I hope so.
So,
allegedly, and at the moment.
Do you have the McCormick?
By the way, you see that guy in the background?
Yeah.
I think he was one of the J6.
The guy on the left?
Yeah. No, the one on the right.
Oh,
the one that was behind. The one that was behind. He was one of the J6. 3 years in prison.
Oh, really? Oh, so he sat him right behind them? Good. Good, I love that.
I wonder who decided who sat behind Fauci.
Because Raikland,
one of them are supporters.
Yeah, and Raikland was on the left, and he was talking to him after.
Adam, play this clip, and then I'm going to go to Adam. Play this clip, and I'm going to Adam right afterwards. Rob, you have the clip. I texted it to you as well. It's one of the clips that you got right there. That one right there. Just play the first couple minutes.
Go the doctor.
You said in an interview that you gave as part of an audiobook written by Michael Spector that you believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it. I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit. Wow. And they get vaccinated.
Wow. You didn't hear this?
No.
That's what you guys didn't hear.
Wow.
No, pause it.
Wait, what?
Pause it and go back and let him continue to finish his point.
Holy shit.
Yeah, wait for this. Watch what happens here. Keep playing it.
Dude.
Only politicians, only bloggers, only conspiracy theorists are disagreeing with you. I want to point out that I'm probably the only member of Congress that actually treated patients during the pandemic from the very beginning to the very end of the pandemic, during night shifts in the ER. Thousands of patients during that time. And in 2020, I was censored. My medical license was threatened because I disagreed with bureaucrats. Literally taken off the internet as a person who is treating patients with leading-edge technologies,
True believer.
developing theories, but doing my very best, but being censored by the United States government for the first time, stepping in and taking the place of medical professionals as the experts in healthcare. Any dissent surrounding COVID-19 treatments, mask mandates, and any public policy surrounding the pandemic was immediately labeled as anti-science. I watched as public health officials and politicians told my patients what treatment options were best for them, regardless of their comorbidities or their medical history. Despite my education and my training and my experience, my opinions were relegated to conspiracy and misinformation by so-called healthcare experts who had never treated a patient throughout the entire pandemic. This has been a black eye on the medicine and has highlighted why government should never insert itself in between patients and their healthcare providers. The American people deserve to make medical decisions through conversations with their physicians rather than politically motivated mandates. Dr. Fauci, did you ever treat a patient for COVID during the pandemic?
I was part of a team that was at the NIH that took care. We didn't take care of many of them.
Okay, so not hands-on. Got it. Thank you.
Bye.
Why would
Next.
I be criticized by a bureaucrat for doing my very best as a healthcare? This is a rhetorical question. But why? Why would the government, who's never treated a patient for COVID,
you can tell.
You can read all the things you want, but you're not there. You're not seeing patients. You're not watching people die, intubating patients right there with that disease in your face, watching it happen, watching the development of this disease and actually learning from it. But I'm being told by bureaucrats what's right and wrong. And what's funny is everything I was censored on, I was proven to be right. Pretty crazy, isn't it?
Pause it right there.
You said in an interview.
Let's really recap. Fauci and them paid for this research, the gain of function in
No, they didn't. We paid for it.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
We
with
paid for it.
with EcoHealth Alliance.
Just going to infuse the word allegedly.
Yeah.
This is what
No.
Tax dollars went to that.
Gain of function.
Adam, I love you for doing that.
Function
research. He did it. They covered it up through emails.
Allegedly.
And then with cahoots with the United States government, they silenced the professionals that were the leading experts. Robert Malone, who's the other guy? Peter McCullough. This guy. Think about that, guys. The government said, shut the hell up. We want this disease, we want this rhetoric, we want this vaccine to come out, and we want to sell it to everybody, so shut up. So that means Congress, you mean to tell me the government is in cahoots with Pfizer and big pharma and all these people to sell us this poison that now, and they have zero liability for all the people that are out there. My heart goes out to you that are vaccine injured, whatever Cuomo and all these guys, long COVID, whatever the hell you guys are going through. Look at what they did to you guys. And if Tom, you're saying it, if this does happen again and you guys believe these people, I don't feel sorry for you anymore. Okay, I don't.
But you got to remember, there's also a group of people that really sincerely don't think they did bad. That's the problem.
Oh, these people, like, Fauci?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
No. Followers of these people.
Well, they were duped. They were duped.
No, but I'm saying there's followers that literally think that the way things were handled were done the right way, and think that Fauci is God's gift to earth after pozole.
Well, you live in California.
Yeah, California.
I know California. I know liberals, and some of them were my relatives that had cardboard cutouts in the lawn, and they had Fauci's face on their lawn like he was like running for Congress. Bro, it's unbelievable, the psyop, the brainwash that happened, and it just drives me crazy. I think we need accountability, and it would come from a board that's with doctors and stuff that are professionals, the Robert McCulloughs, the Malones, and put on it Elon Musk. You feel me, PBD?
Got you. Adam, go for it.
Yeah, well, I totally understand where you guys are coming from in your anger, and you're right, Ricky. You talk about the polarization and the politicization of science. Just look where we're at in the country. Just look at the ratings for Fauci. 85% of Democrats approve of the job Fauci did. Just 19% of Republicans. That was back in 2022. So if you just want to see what he hasn't been relevant since basically COVID, quote unquote, ended. But just look at the polarization there. There's a group on one side that is like, no, he did it. He did a great job. He saved lives. And there's the other group of people who are basically like, this guy's a criminal of the highest proportion. So I totally understand where your anger is coming from. And just evidence of that, by the way, Ted Cruz called him the most dangerous bureaucrat in the history of the country. Bureaucrat, why? Because he's not elected, okay? Rand Paul called him the dictator-in-chief. DeSantis, the little elf that should have been kicked off the Potomac. But on the other side of things, Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, said that, quote-unquote,
DeSantis called him the little elf?
The little elf. Elf on a shelf. Kamala Harris,
but you know,
the amazing, hold on, Rick.
The borders are?
She called him the incredible public servant and saved countless lives. Dick Durbin called him a classic example of American excellence. The polarization, the politicization of science, and this guy is the perfect avatar of the hate and the appreciation the American people have for COVID. Last thing, I have more questions than solutions here. Here are the following questions I had. Who made the most money from COVID?
Senators in Congress.
Where did all the money go? Who made
Pfizer was huge, Moderna,
Bio. Okay, I want to know
Johnson & Johnson.
Who had the most to gain and who had the most to lose for doing all this? What are the questions that we're just not asking? By the way, when is China going to be held accountable?
Never.
Shout out to PBD and the Dave Smith, Chris Cuomo podcast, the 9/11 type commission that needs to be done on this, bipartisan. And, Trump had the opportunity to fire him, didn't. Biden had the opportunity to fire him, didn't. I just have a lot more questions on this guy. But everything that he's being grilled on, I fully condone.
Well, not only that, but you got to remember, it wasn't just the jobs. It wasn't just forcing you through social pressure to get vaccinated. You guys, Pat knows Nico Castillo. He was in the hospital and he was about to die. He was getting ready. I mean, he was bad. And they had to sign waivers that if he got worse and didn't take the shots, that they were not responsible for that. So it was like, you go to the hospital, oh, do you have your shot? No, then we can't help you. So it was not just social pressure. You couldn't do anything without. So that's the part too where that when you're dealing with these people that follow people like Fauci, they're so devout to them.
Yeah.
They're so that you can't get them out of that mentality. But I'm hoping that in November 2024, people will remember.
You bring up a good point. And just a couple of quick facts. How many small businesses closed? How many the government
200,000.
overreach? 200,000. How many family legacies, generational businesses never to be seen again? The whole lab wet market thing, I think it's pretty clear that it most likely came from a lab at this point in Wuhan, of all places. Government overreach, everything with that, the mandates, the big tech, the censorship. Sometimes it takes time.
But the part you have to realize here, I know you're saying, like even with Cuomo, I don't have any statements. I have only what do you call it? Questions. Right? But you have to think about that and say, okay, which side was part of censoring, left or right?
It's not even a question. It was the left.
Which side was about forcing people to take the vaccine?
It's not even a question. It was
Which
the left.
side was the one that prevented kids from going to school and titled people
Left.
unessential?
You're
whatever,
absolutely
essential?
right. All
Which
left.
side was the one that told people, hey, if you don't take it, let them die. I don't care. Jimmy Fallon. Which side?
Jimmy Kimmel.
So Jimmy Kimmel. So when you go through this,
horrible. You're right.
what do you put on the right? The only thing you get on the right side is when Trump created warp speed and Pfizer announced, whether it was Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson, that the vaccine is ready. They did it 2 days after the election was over to make sure that victory didn't go to him. And Kamala Harris said, I would never take a vaccine that's coming out this close. And then they started. Everything on the hypocrisy goes on this side. And there's a major sect of people. Yesterday, I'm having this conversation with Tom and Christina Bob. And one of the topics was, who does RFK hurt, the left or the right? Now, some people say, of course, it hurts Trump, right? Some say left. I said, tell me why you think left. The reason why it's left is because you have no idea how many people on the left are pissed off with the Biden vote, and they want someone else. Who do you think Cuomo's going to be voting for?
If I had to put my money on it.
If you had to put your money
I would say not Trump and most likely Biden and potentially RFK.
Okay. Is it not Trump and not Biden, possibly RFK?
It's definitely not Trump.
We know that for sure.
It's possibly RFK.
Okay.
More likely Biden.
Okay. How many people like him are going away from Biden to RFK?
All it takes is,
that's right.
100,000.
Small percent.
All it takes is a percentage here, a percentage there.
So I do think there's
spoiler.
people also on the left that are absolutely sick of what happened during COVID that are like, I can't do this again. I can't. And the main driver, if you were to say, give me Trump's top 3 campaigns, what's he campaigning on? What's Trump's top 3 campaign? What's he going to do?
Border. Economy.
What else?
International relations.
Foreign relations, peace.
Yeah. Implementation of the justice
give me
system.
Biden's top 3 initiatives he's campaigning on.
Waking up in the morning and not falling down the stairs.
I'm not Trump.
No, I'm
Be
telling
careful.
you.
I'm not Trump is one.
No, he's got a whole list there.
Democracy, abortion.
Threat to democracy, Adam's right. Abortion, and being Trump.
Okay, so watch
No,
this.
no. Honestly, I want us to step back. We're all shouting things out. What have you really seen? I have really personally seen, I'm not Trump. Beware of Trump. He's a dictator.
So fear, what's the second?
And women's right to choose. I've heard those in the last 2 weeks loud and clear.
Fear, abortion.
Okay, so what's the third?
Oh, God.
Democracy, abortion,
Well, that goes into
and
the fear.
he's
Okay.
a criminal.
Okay,
Those three.
let's say that.
In order.
Democracy, abortion, he's a criminal. Fine. What's RFK's top 3? You won't be able to think of it.
I can't.
But you will think about the number 1.
The whole vaccine.
That's right. So watch this. How many people on the left have issues with the vaccine that neither side, neither the left, which is who, Biden, neither Trump, is really saying we're going to get to the bottom of what happened with Fauci in China? How many people in America want that to be one of their top 3?
A lot, like especially you're talking about the left that are injured and I think it's a lot.
Like the vaccine, Pat, or the whole idea of COVID.
The whole thing, what happened with Fauci, China,
it's definitely my number one.
There you go.
Yeah, it's definitely my number one.
And guess whose number 1 is that?
Yeah.
RFK.
RFK's number 1. So that's the part where he's going to play very big. The more, by the way, my opinion, the more they show Fauci getting grilled, the more RFK moves up.
That's a good point.
The more they grill Fauci constantly, more stories like this coming up, the more RFK is winning.
I think
meaning he's gaining not
momentum.
Winning, but he's gaining votes. So
you're dead on with RFK, and if I just maybe give a little pushback here, I don't think the COVID vaccine everything is in anyone's top 10 in any poll.
Really?
Okay. Are there people that are upset about you? It's the economy. It's crime, it's the border, it's immigration. For women, it's abortion, it's wars, it's inflation. Look, thank God.
He's not wrong, but
okay.
This is numbers you can't look at.
But top 10, you don't think?
I don't know about top 10. I know it's not top 5, but here's the part.
I could just read this right here.
You're talking about candidates. He's talking about national voter pool.
Yeah.
What I'm going to tell you is, how many people do you think it's in their top 5? How many people do you think it's in their top 3? Give me a percentage.
The libertarian vote, for sure.
Give me a percent. And by the way, but here's the part that people are not realizing.
15%?
I can make the argument to say all of that shit, they're already decided what side they're voting on. All of them have already decided what side they're voting on, okay? But when it comes down to the people that were upset about what Fauci, the government did, the mandates, all of that, what percentage you think that's in their top three?
As a whole?
What percentage you think that's in their top three?
Top three?
Top three.
Top 10% most at this point in
That's
2024.
all you need.
That's all you need.
That's the point.
I'm with you.
The point is that's all you need. We already know what the people who hate Trump are going to vote for, and we already know people who don't like Biden who they're going to vote for. Yep. It's the 10% that matters, and I think this is going to be an issue that could be coming up depending on how RFK plays it, as well as how Trump's going to play it. Biden's definitely not going to be playing this card at all.
Can we all agree on this? I really hope that RFK is on all the debate stages. Hold everybody accountable. Can we at least agree with that? You don't want to see RFK on the stage?
I don't have a problem with his argument. I'm hoping he finds a way to get with Trump because in most people's top 5 issues, both of them combine all the 5 are in there.
Hold on, what do you mean get with Trump?
I hope RFK and Trump find a way. If Trump gets elected, Trump can bring RFK in and to say, you're going to lead the commission to go after finding out what happened with COVID.
Please.
I hope that he is the leading lawyer to go investigate that. Kind of like the Warren Commission. Yeah. Put RFK in the job.
The Kennedy Commission.
I fully agree. Yes. Can I ask you one last question? Yeah. Let's say RFK drops out today. Let's just say.
Yeah.
And nobody knows. He goes into the ballot box and he has to vote for either Trump or Biden. What are the odds he votes for Trump or Biden?
She's on Trump.
Odds.
Trump. 80% Trump.
Yeah, I'm going 80-20. 80-20.
Think so?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 60 Biden, 40 Trump.
I'm right there with you. I think he leans Biden.
40 Trump.
If you
He's not a Trump guy, bro.
I know what you're saying.
He's not a Trump
I know what
guy,
you're
bro.
saying, but I'm telling you guys right now. I think
I'm with PBD.
I think Trump can make that 60 be the other side of himself.
Yeah.
They need a private meeting together. I think Trump can get him to say, look, you're upset at that. I'll give you the commission. You go lead the way. You are Warren Commission. Go do it. I support it. But come, and I'm going to be the president. I'm going to need your help. You want to run together? And I don't care who you vote for. Then he's going to be like, okay, but I think today he's 60-40, but he can't be 60-40.
He's
the other way around. All right, let's go to the next story. A little bit of a sentimental story here for some of you guys that like emotional bonds of like people coming together. There was this very unique moment with the pro-Palestine protesters clash with Pride, parade. Rob, if you can play this clip, they're both confused on what's going on here. Watch this clip here. This is fascinating.
Hey, they can play the shit out of
She's getting
brother.
butched. Look at she's getting butched.
So one side is what?
It's like gays and terrorists looking.
So pro-Palestine and gays coming together.
Yeah. So this is look, gay terrorists, and then what?
Why don't we ship them all to Palestine?
That's what I'm saying. Go fight.
Get a one-way ticket to Palestine. Go. One-way ticket to Palestine. See what happens. Yeah. By the way, so for some of you guys, you can pause this, Rob. It's great. I know you enjoyed, but. So this weekend,
Rob, put your pants on.
Vinny may have not been there, but Vinny did go to a because it's June LGBTQ gay pride convention held at this incredible place. They used to be a place for kids. Now it's more about LGBTQ. They have to they got to figure this kind of stuff out. Vinny went to Disney World. Vinny, tell us what your experience at Disney World was this weekend celebrating Kelly's birthday.
So guys,
the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, it was Kelly's birthday. Let's just not forget what I'm a Christian in the Bible. Tom, you could probably quote it. What does it say? Proverbs chapter 16, verse 18. Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Just the word pride. I think the word pride should be reserved for something that you achieve on your own. That you get like, Pat, you should be proud that you built PHP and you sold it and you're proud. You're a minority owner for the Yankees because you did it. Being gay isn't a skill. You didn't achieve anything. And I think it's ridiculous that it is hijacking an entire month, which guess what? If you're gay, cool. Fine, but I go to Disney for Kelly's birthday, and Nat, her sisters, Deli, we all go. We're having a good time. Ricky, I'm not joking. We walked in. We had no idea. June, it's the 1st. Her birthday's on May 31st. We walk in, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm talking about like guys with shirts that are like Big Bear Club, and it's like bunch of buff gay dudes, shorts. Ricky, it was unbelievable. And I'm like, what the hell's going on?
This is at Disney World.
Disney World. World, okay? Disney World, we went to Magic. What's the Magic? Whatever one?
Magic Kingdom.
Guys,
Magic Kingdom.
Everywhere. And let me unpack it. We go into the place because the girls want to buy ears. And I look, backpacks, rainbow, gay, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So now we're waiting for the fireworks show. It's like the finale. It's ridiculous, right? I go to Italy, the Italy around the world, to try to get us all pizza. And I'm standing there, two guys, how funny. Two guys named Joey see me and they're like, hey, PBD podcast, we take photos. As I'm leaving, there's a drunk gay guy wearing all red. He's next to a guy that has a shirt that says, not gay, just here to party. God knows what the hell that means.
Not gay, but $20.
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're partying on this day.
Yeah,
there you go.
So this gay drunk guy, Ricky, he's like belligerent, and now he's starting to grab the other guy's ass and trying to bite his neck, and there's kids right there. And I go, yo, what are we doing right now? And the sober guy's like, oh, no, my bad. I go, guys, not here. I go, that's not the time. So here's my thing. Pride and whatever you want to do, go to the streets in LA. They're butt naked. They're wearing G-strings, assless chaps, dancing in front of kids. This is the happiest place on earth. The regular people there are kids. Yes, I was there for a birthday with Kelly and people are like, you're in your 40s. I could still go because I was invited. What does you being sexual and gay at a place that's the majority is going to be kids? Could somebody explain that to me? And here's my solution. That whole naked in the street in LA, West Hollywood. What does West Hollywood look like for this month?
God.
Be honest. Every weekend. Naked people twerking in front of kids. That
I think Pasadena calls it specifically the Doodah Parade. Rob,
is it?
Look that up.
But Tom, am I wrong? That, there needs to be, guess what? The law, any other month, any other day of any other month, that behavior in the street, what happens to you?
Get arrested.
If your balls are hanging out, you're getting arrested. Why this month? It's okay. What does that have to do with you being gay?
It's the same reason why in October 31st, the girls wear slutty uniforms because they can pull it off on that day because you're not a slut. You're just, it's a costume.
Yeah, you're not a nurse, honey.
You're not really a nurse.
Yeah, and also, Pat, the FBI.
You're not really a slutty nurse.
You're just a slut. Yeah, you're just a slut.
You're slut all year long. Just this day, it's okay for you to show what's inside of you.
I think I'm getting a temperature.
Yeah, it's just, it really was, it was a turnoff that there was that many just overly sexual, like clothing revealing. One guy had a dildo straw around his neck, and it wasn't a small one. It's around his neck, and I had to contain myself because I'm like, am I going to get kicked out of here? Am I going to be the freaking?
Yes, you're going to be a bad guy.
I would have been arrested.
Watch
I would have been arrested.
Disney Pride Collection. The Disney Pride Collection was created by members and allies of the LGBTQIA+ community. The Walt Disney Company proudly works with nonprofits throughout the year to support the LGBTQIA+ community globally. Good for you guys, Disney.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do? Like,
how's that working at the box office?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, and it wasn't just them, PBD. The FBI, the FBI was in the streets in West Hollywood with a car, an FBI vehicle behind them. They're in the streets, but by the way, because they have all the time in the world. They're not supposed to be going after terrorists or shit like that.
Recruiting? What were they doing?
Yeah, they love going after parents that are fighting for books and stuff not to be in school. That's what they do with their job. Also, BMW had a Pride thing that was going around. Did you see this? BMW changed their logo to be Pride Month, but guess where they didn't change it? In the Middle East. The Arab countries, they did not do none of that shit because they know the Arabs don't play that shit, bro. They do not. So think about it. What is Disney doing? For you guys that think that they give a shit about you being gay, they don't. It's about money. You know how many backpacks they're selling? You know how much BMWs, how many gay people are like, BMW cares.
Hurts me.
No, I think Hamas did something for Pride Month. I think June 1st, they kicked off Pride Month with a special reception on the roof of a very, 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 very tall building.
Yeah, that's what they love doing. So I'm actually starting a movement called Gays to Gaza, where I'm gonna provide transportation to bring everybody to Gaza. Let's go see how they.
This was I don't even know if you want to play this, Rob. I just want to get your reaction. Don't play it. I just want you to watch it. Is it? Are they going to see it in the back? They're going to play it or no?
No. Don't show this.
Okay, go ahead and play this so the team can see it. And watch this. This is a video recently from a guy that went to, obviously, Pride Month, whatever, Disney.
And where's it?
Okay, Gash. Move a little bit to the right. Boom. You see it? Did you get it or no?
yay! What a good wholesome what a good wholesome attitude to have.
The
Man.
fact that Disney's okay with this,
Jesus.
the fact that Disney's okay with this is what's embarrassing about it. By the way, quick shout out to Rick Walker. Rick Walker gifted 50 PBD podcast memberships. That's pretty good for you, Rick, for supporting.
Oh, Rick!
All right, Adam, do you have any thoughts on this before we move on?
Look, June's Pride Day.
Pride Month,
I'm sorry. But I actually was like, how many other LGBT awareness type things are there? Because remember on Easter, it was not just Easter, it was Transgender Day of Visibility. And Rob, I don't know if you can pull up his calendar.
There's 30
I'll
of
just
them?
go to March is Bisexual Health Awareness Month. March 31st is International Transgender Day of Visibility. We just talked about that. May 6th, Asexuality Day. April 26th, International Lesbian Day, International Day Against Homophobia, Gender Pride Days in May, Harvey Milk Day, Pansexual Panoramic Visibility Day. June is Pride Month. June 5th is HIV Awareness Month. The Omnisexual Visibility Day. There's just
that's ridiculous.
Holiday after holiday after holiday. Cool. If you want to have a month, go. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Then there's Trans Month, which is November.
Gay Uncles Day.
Then there's Asexual Awareness Week.
Joking?
Wait, hold on. August 14th is Gay Uncles Day.
Yeah. Ricky, look at this.
Ricky,
August 14th is Gay Uncles Day.
Gay Uncle Day. So it's just like, dude, I'm all for having a month.
On my day.
How many of them are there?
That's ridiculous.
It's insane.
what's
but
wild,
there's
though?
backlash.
What's
Did
that?
I give you the backlash?
Yeah, go for it.
Because there's two stories here. You saw what happened with the Navy SEALs.
Yes.
Because June is actually PTSD Awareness Month.
Yep.
In the Navy SEALs, the Navy's official U.S. Navy Special Forces page draws backlash for ringing in Pride Month rather than PTSD Awareness Month. They libs of TikTok called it terrifying and woke. They shut down the comment section because basically people were skating.
That's it right there. And then you wonder why the Navy has nobody enlisting and people are leaving in droves. Like, guys, it's not working, Disney. It's not going to work, Navy SEALs. You guys are supposed to be killers.
The Pentagon.
Did they apologize?
No.
Oh, yes.
They apologize.
Here it is. Rob, you have the story. The incident occurred as the Pentagon mistakenly posted a graphic reading, Celebrate Pride Month 2024, in a tweet that was actually meant to promote PTSD Awareness Month, which they later corrected by replacing the graphic with one appropriate for if you scroll down, Rob, you'll find
Apparently they found the guy.
Yeah, there it is. No, keep going down, Rob. You'll see. Keep going. There it is, Bing. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
They meant to say PTSD Awareness Month, but with the pride image. It's like, what's happening
here? If you or someone know is struggling, help is available. What do you mean the pride is in it?
No, meaning it.
Celebrate Pride instead of just.
They said celebrate Pride rather than hey, it's PTSD Awareness Day.
Stop it! This is you. You're not a Navy SEAL brand and making a royal screw up like this.
Pentagon. No. But there's actually people giving more backlash. You hear about the bar in Idaho?
Yeah, the bar in Idaho said this.
So they said that they declare June heterosexual awesome month, and
giving free beers
at the Eagle State Saloon. They announced that June they're giving free beer to hetero male Mondays.
There's a lot of closet
men
gays
dressed like a heterosexual man.
By the way,
15% off.
There's a lot of
straight
guys
couple on Wednesdays.
There's a lot of guys in the corner like, I know I'm straight, but oh wait, that Navy's whoever tweeted that Navy SEAL thing, you know that guy was proud, called all his friends like, hey guys, listen, I know I just did it. But just look at the website.
I think the biggest thing is, like, you can be like, cool, great, Pride Month, awesome, like nobody has a problem. But when you shove it down our throat, no pun intended, with 1,000 different holidays of trans and gay uncles, families are like, what is happening?
Let me bring it back.
Sure, sir.
So, by the way, see how stupid this is. Rob, one of the stories I sent you, if you can pull this up, pull up the one about being a father, if you have that one. I send that to you. Do you know which one that is? Here's a story that comes out 2 days ago, okay? And it's about being a father. Fatherhood may be bad for your heart. Vinny, look at this. Fatherhood may be bad for your heart. A study shows. Newsweek posts this. Everybody posts this. So New York Post has to share this article. Zoom in a little bit, Rob, to read it. Go to the bottom. Kids may pull on your heartstrings in more ways than one. Fathers have worse cardiovascular health than men without kids, according to a new study. Researchers from Northwestern University and Ann Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago analyzed data from 2,814 men between 45 and 85 and found the health outcomes varied considerably by ethnicity and how old the man was when his first kid was born. For example, men who became fathers under the age of 25 seem to have worse health than other fathers. This was especially true amongst the men who were Hispanic or black. There we go. The study published in AJPM Focus, or this one used the data on multi-ethnicity, and then the men were grouped as being fathers or non-fathers and self-identified as black Chinese. Oh, I thought it was going to say self-identified as a father, but self-identified as black, Chinese, Hispanic, or white. Fathers made up 82% of the group. If you can go lower, Rob. And the data continues. Being a dad can negatively impact lifestyle and heart. And this doctor's talking. Young fathers have the worst health. Anyways, do you know when Father's Day is? When is Father's Day?
Usually June 14th to 18th, right in
June.
window.
Okay,
it's in June. This month.
That's right. So check this out. Fathers get 1 day. Mothers get 1 day. Gays get a month and many other uncle gay days and all this other stuff that you have. Then you're wondering why we're not having many kids.
Weird.
And then you're wondering why Chuck Schumer comes out last week and says, this is why we have to figure out a way to amnesty the 11 million people because Americans are not having enough kids, and that's a problem. That's a problem, Rob. Do you have that clip of Chuck Schumer talking about the fact that the reason why we have to have all these, turn these immigrants into legals is because Americans are just simply not having kids? Of course, you're getting these guys to join the because you're putting it in front of them all the damn time. Play this clip. This was last week, Vinny.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to. The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them. Because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are.
Specifically, horny immigrants.
So basically what he just said is like, hey, listen, Americans, you're not hooking up enough. We're going to bring illegals in here to bang all your women. Let's do that. And nobody in that audience was like, Chuck, what the hell are you talking about?
Just every time he speaks there, just every time you hear the word worker, just in your head, change it to taxpayer and voter. Dude, I can't He's not interested in workers.
I cannot.
He's interested in taxpayers and
voters. This is why anybody I talk to that has the right values and principles, I'm encouraging them to keep having kids. Anybody who's got the right values and principles, you want them to have as many kids as possible. Last story before we wrap up, Rob. Can you pull up Alex Jones? This last week, Alex Jones was doing a Twitter Space Live, which now Twitter allows to do video lives. And he had around 250,000 people concurrent watching him. And here's what happened. I believe this is one of the clips of what happened there, Rob, if I'm not mistaken.
This is the first. This is him explaining what's going on with the InfoWars studio.
Okay, go for it.
I've been under attack. I've been gaslit. I've had secret federal filings filed on me that I'm committing crimes, referred to the Justice Department, which, of course, wasn't true. We'd already filed it in federal court months before. They didn't even check this shit. If you're going to fucking frame somebody and fucking lie about them to goddamn federal court with the fucking know it's already filed in the goddamn court, you bastard.
Hide your kids.
So fuck you. And fuck anybody else that tries to go on with your shit. You want fucking war, you fucking got it. I told you one more fucking lie, and I was going to do this, all right? I tried to sustain this place. I didn't believe America was as corrupt as this. I didn't believe we were this fucked, and we are this fucked. This country is administratively got a bunch of scum in charge of it. That's why it's going down the tubes, and America and the whole world sees it. So you misjudged who I am, and in a year of millions misjudged who I am, and you have no idea. No idea. So go ahead, try to jerk off some operation to shut the doors here and do that and prove everything I said. It doesn't matter. And I don't sit there and make threats. I make promises. I haven't had time yet to dig it out of my phone, but I will. And you will, at the end of the day, know that Alex Jones, the American patriot, defeated your evil ass. You guys want to comment?
You have one with him getting emotional. Do you have that one?
Do you think any of them commented afterward? No, I'm good. Thanks, Alex.
No, Alex, you did well.
Is this the one? Play this clip. Go ahead.
Yeah, this was worse.
We're going to beat these people. I'm not trying to be dramatic here, but it's been a hard fight. And these people hate our children.
Man.
Just take Take more calls. Go ahead. Who's the next person?
I mean, dude, we've been around this guy. Yeah. Listen, let me explain something to you. The guy is a freaking monster. Like, it's hard. Like, people are like, oh, he's not crying for real. That guy doesn't cry a lot. When's the last time you've seen Alex Jones cry? I mean, it's funny. We look at something like that and we're like, dude, is that Alex Jones really crying? Bro, the guy's been through a lot. Yes, he messed up once, majorly.
Ricky, what do you think, Ricky?
Ricky, I think that I'm like that, Pat, so I understand. I understand where he's coming from. I think that I worry for him because, when you're going up against government powers as strong as the ones that are against us, he's definitely it's an uphill battle. I think that, just from watching him for so many years, he's being sincere about it. And he's really worried about where this country's going. Has he done some, over-the-board stuff? Yeah, absolutely. Has he said some stuff that are out there? Yeah, I think so. But I think a lot of people share his sentiment, though. There's a reason why he had 250,000. What was 250,000
people watching live?
I mean, people share his sentiment. People share his ideas. People, are wanting a difference. And I think that, yesterday I was driving. I wore a shirt that said. Just a regular, it says, and I gotta show it to you. I'll send you pictures of my luggage. Just a regular dad, big, which I'm not a dad. Trying not to raise liberals, right? That was my shirt. I wore it through LA, through Texas, to coming here.
I love it.
And so I was sitting next to a guy, a veteran, and he's like, "Dude, I love your shirt." He's, "How many kids you got?" I said, "I don't. I just wore it because I liked what it said."
I'm mad you get people on an airplane.
Even my shout out to my wife Erica. She's. I got like 6 shirts that's, shit. Anyway, point is that he says, I used to not care about politics. I just fought for my country. But when they started coming for our kids, that's when I got involved. And I think that's where, and now they're being open about it. Like you see these drag shows, we're coming for your kids. They're going to join us. I don't know if you watched the one. They're going to join us. I think that's where people, and I think this is what he's talking about. They hate our children because he brought this up is, They're not, and I didn't care about politics as much. Obviously, I got involved more with Pat, with you, and I was like, oh, okay. But this past 2 years, when they're coming after our kids, it's a whole different. They woke up monsters that people just want to be left alone. I think that I've always been open about it. I'm conservative, and I do, I'm on the more on the Republican side. I don't agree with everything, but I'm a conservative, and that's when even though I don't have kids, I have nephews, and I worry. Me and my wife are, fixing to have kids. And that's when I wanted to fight back more. So, you're not going to do that to my kids. And had they left the kids alone, I think we would have been all right. But they want to shove down this ideology down our throats so bad. That's where they messed up. It's like, dude, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care if you have, if you're he, they, whatever you call yourself. But don't involve me in your bullshit. Just like I don't involve you in mine. But once they started pushing hard, I think that's when more Alex Jones. And I think that Alex Jones is just one of many of us that are waking up and say, yeah, we're done with this bullshit. That's what I think. I feel bad for the guy, though, man. To see him break down like that after watching him for so many years, it's definitely a tough situation to be in. But, hey, somebody's got to speak the truth. But he was going to get raided, didn't he? He said the FBI
Well, yeah, because,
allegedly,
he's on the radar.
I'm not being hyperbolic. This guy's 50 years old. The way he's acting, the way he looks, I don't know how much time he has left. He is a mess right now. I'm not wishing anything upon him. We've had a great time with him in person. He is going through some stuff. Look, I'm in the life expectancy business. I know overweight, smoker, drugs, angry, high blood pressure. Dude, this guy is going through some stuff, and I wish him to just... I don't know, but this is who he is. This is the eyeball economy, the attention economy. Does anybody do a better job of getting more eyeballs than him?
No.
The thing that I don't know about Alex Jones is what's real and what's a show. He's a showman. Even part of his trial, when he was on trial for the Sandy Hook thing, even the judge, they were just like, are you acting right now? What is happening right now?
Let me ask you this, though. I don't know. Does a guy that's doing this for show, does he take it that far? I mean... Do you take it that far? It seems like a little bit too drastic to take it.
Do you think he's the type of guy that when the cameras are on, he hypes himself up a little bit? Do you think he's that?
Who doesn't?
Okay.
But I don't think, but I think this guy's a true believer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I want to ask you this.
Do you think he's
a true, Adam, do you think Alex Jones is a true American patriot that is willing to die.
Yes, I believe so.
I know you do. To die, Adam, to keep this going. Because me personally, I would rather die free than live as a slave. And this guy, okay, he's made mistakes, and we talked about that, but is consistent with the message of America first. And we know if you have that attitude, they come after you. And guess what? He is on their radar. Alex Jones, if you don't think the higher up, the powerful know who Alex Jones is, and his voice resonates with the people, with the MAGA.
I'm fully with you. Last point, when you have that much pressure on you.
It's hard.
And the feds, he owes $1.5 billion.
And he's still talking for us.
Okay, I mean, I don't know how he's going to pay this off. They're talking about having to liquidate InfoWars. I think his company top line revenue is like 10, 20 million. He's selling the supplements. He's doing the pills. He's selling the merch. You know, they're talking about having to pay back 50% of his profits. They're talking about, you know, a couple $1 million to the family of Sandy Hook. They called it, quote unquote, HBO's new docuseries that came out, I don't know, like a month or two ago. They said it's the most egregious case of defamation in American history. I've spent time with the guy. We've spent that time. I enjoyed the guy.
Yeah.
But I think for most Americans, to be candid, when they think of Alex Jones, they think of Sandy Hook. They attach it to that.
Yeah, one big mistake.
I would like to see his favorability ratings.
Tom.
So a couple things there. You know, he's been a guy that's brave enough to speak to power, and some of the things he has said were level.
Anything new from what? Because everybody said the same thing. Any new angle you got, Tom, on Alex? What are you thinking?
Okay. I do have one, and it's like, I really wonder if the showman is using just things that are going on in terms of company bankruptcy, and they're coming to lock the doors and take the assets like they do in bankruptcy. It's like a repossession. They do that to your house. They do it to your car. If you don't pay your lease, they'll come lock your front door and say you're finally evicted. Is there just a normal bankruptcy process going on in the background, and he is using that, and once again is this bombastic showman? Because there were people out there that were saying, well, wait a minute, you know, I don't love him, I don't hate him, but there's a bankruptcy going on. Is he just using it?
Yeah, so meaning using the bankruptcy to come into, like, we have a guy locally that's going through it. We were talking about yesterday that, as of this day, we're selling it. It's not on you selling it anymore. It actually has to do something with you as well. You were a part of it when you and I walked in somewhere. Don't say anything. When me and Robert went in one time, that just got finalized, by the way.
No shit.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
it's like
finalized for like.
So anyways,
it's not the city. This is like state and federal.
When you're going through that, if you're using this to get sympathy, to sell another story, what you're doing is it's hurting your credibility score more and more and more if it comes back and they say, that's what's going on. But, okay, so let's play the next card. Yep. Here's the next card before we wrap up. Say he runs out of money. Say there is nothing else going on. Say they shut it down. Say InfoWars is gone. What does Alex do next? Where does Alex go? What does he do? Does he stay as an independent, podcaster? Is the government going to want him to keep working to make money so he can pay off whatever other debts that he has? What does he do next, Tom?
I think it's like Jerry Springer, and like Morton Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Guys that had their moment. They were bombastic. Yeah. The show went off. They lost their production company. I think Morton Downey Jr.'s production company, went down, I think, if I'm right. Then you have a bombastic personality who's looking for the next microphone. And is there somebody out there that would give him a microphone?
Go ahead.
Look, I'm not wishing him anything ill will. I just don't see anything good happening here. You owe $1.5 billion. His net worth apparently is $9 million in assets. The government's coming after him. The family's coming after him. They're seizing his assets. They're going to liquidate the company. Yeah. Is there a market for him? Sure, he gets eyeballs. The pressure this guy is going through, I don't mean this like I don't wish anything bad about him. I would not be surprised if something happens to him soon.
Nah, I look at it like this. You owe somebody $10 million, you're in trouble. You owe them $1.5 billion, they're in trouble, right? There's no way you can pay that. They can't squeeze that orange to the end of time.
Oh, they're going to squeeze the hell out of him, Tom. You don't
They're
think?
already
Because it's not just the government, it's the families. They have a class action lawsuit.
Their court case. They've had
Do you
the
think
judgment.
anyone is dropping this ever? There's dead kids involved, Tom.
What is this that you're, calm down, princess. That's
Tom,
not
you
what
gotta
I'm
do
saying.
better than that, bro. I mean, you're saying dead kids. You think the family is going to drop this?
I didn't say that. You said that. You were doing to me what you do to Vinny. You throw a bunch of words in his face. You try to create
Tom,
this
I know.
holier
Listen, Tom,
than thou.
I love you. I know you're. I love you. I know you're. I know you're having your moment to be angry.
I'm not letting
I
you
love
do
you,
it.
Tom. I'm saying the reality is. The family's never going to let this go. You're making this personal. I'm talking about Alex.
No, I'm not. The court case is over.
Calm
the
down,
families have
princess.
to wait for the court to go, assimilate the assets. The families are the victims. These horrible, things that happen to these precious people.
Tom, I'm going to take you for lunch. Calm down.
No, you don't need to take. You don't need to take
It's
me
all
for
good,
lunch.
Tom.
All right, Rob, just do me a favor for whatever. Call security. Have them come out here. The moment we go, we have to be careful with this.
Tom's getting all hip-hop on me, man.
All right. So anyways, we'll see what's going to happen there. I think to a lot of people who have followed Alex since the beginning days of, what was it, 24 years ago, 23 years
Bohemian
ago,
Grove, insane.
for years. I mean, this guy is in this space of podcasters, creators, of guys that would go through different type of stories and all this stuff. He's one of the OGs, and there's a lot of people. He's got a lot of influence. You love him or hate him. He's got a lot of influence over a lot of people that today are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, okay? And many big podcasters like to invite him. I don't know how many times Joe's had Alex Jones on.
Oh, gosh.
He's been on Rogan,
Can you look
Pierce
at how
Morgan.
many times Joe has had Alex Jones on? I'm actually curious. How many times?
3 or 4 times, maybe?
No,
I think no way.
Really?
I was about to say
He lives in
20
Austin,
times.
by the way.
they have a
He
bunch.
lives in Austin.
How many times has Joe Rogan had Alex
If I had to
Jones
guess,
on?
9 times, 8 times.
I would say
8 or 9.
whatever the number is. Anyways, it's many, many times. Okay,
Been on a bunch.
gang, wrapping it up. Angry Patriot. Rob, go back to it. Angry Patriot shirt. Black, green, and the other color. Show all 3 colors, Rob. If you got
What
a black
size is
is
that?
one, green
It's
is the
a
other
large,
one.
I think.
And then show the, Ricky, we'll send it to you. And then
Okay.
show the other one as well, Rob.
I only
There's
have black and green.
Black and green. Angry Patriot. Go order them before they sell out. Future looks bright. We have that for you. Again, if you're an Angry Patriot like Ricky and Vinny,
Yes.
sport the gear. And if you enjoyed Ricky being on today, Rob, show Ricky's Manek
Stud.
Let him know you enjoyed it. What did you like about what he had to say? Stay close with him. Ricardo Aguilar is the username on Manek. Ricardo, not Ricky. Ricardo Aguilar on Manek, and that's his QR code. Gang,
Thank you guys.
Rob, what do we got? We got something tomorrow. Or is it Thursday, Rob?
Thursday.
Next podcast will be Thursday. Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.